7 Eastern, ESPN TV. Patriots among the teams on hand for Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields' second pro day today. In his latest mock draft, ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. has New England trading 5 spots up to take Fields at 10, and he would be a good fit with Coach Bill Belichick, not just because of his physical abilities, believes ESPN's Teddy Bruschi.
This kid's smart, too, and that's what the Patriots really value. So if he gets to 10 and he drops to 10, I think Bill would understand that this is a chance for him to go up and get a quarterback that would help him for the next 10 years in Justin Fields. And then it's time now to make a move to get him.
Teddy Bruschi on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Defensive end Jadeveon Clowney signing with the Browns. 1 year worth up to $10 million, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter.
It's time for some Straight Talk. Cutting your wireless bill in half feels good. Home run in the ninth good. Straight Talk offers 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys on America's best networks. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Taking a look at a Dave Brewer 7-round mock draft right now. 3 Ohio State players taken by the Jags in this mock draft. Mock draft season continues.
It's in full effect. In full effect.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about it than the likelihood. An interesting play at 25 as well, something I haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. So I like that. I like when we get a little bit of variation.
Sure.
And somehow we still end up with a few players that probably have already bought houses here based on mock drafts. Sure. Like 3 of them. Even though 25 appears to be a little bit different. So the one guy that can buy a house here if he wants right now is Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have to wait until April 29th, 15 days away from the NFL draft. Interesting article, good article out on Sports Illustrated. I don't know if you got the chance to read that.
I did.
And I thought it was really well done. Mm-hmm. Really good article about just kind of carving out who Trevor Lawrence is. And I mean, so much of that stuff I think we've talked about because we get a little glimpse of Trevor Lawrence through his hometown and through Dabo Swinney and through Clemson and all these places that we stopped over the last few months and talked about it. But I think it was highlighted once again today. This guy is just more than just football. Loves football, but he's more than just football. And everywhere you go, that's what people say. I mean, I said it to Dabo Swinney in an interview that we did, and we'll play that for you in the next few days. But I said, I can't believe everywhere I go, when you want to ask about football, what makes him so great and why is he the #1 pick and why does Mel Kiper say he's the 4th highest rated quarterback to come out since he was doing this? Mm-hmm. And everybody else wants to talk about everything else about Trevor Lawrence, not the football guy. Yeah. And that has been a common theme wherever. And I think it was encapsulated pretty well in that Sports Illustrated article. This guy's deeper than football. And you've played with plenty of people like that. I think you yourself would be one of those guys deeper than football. Yeah. But in your sport, and actually in athletics, sports can define you, really, at least to the public and to everybody else. And for a time, even to yourself, maybe even the people around you, it consumes you. Certainly doesn't appear to be the case with Trevor Lawrence.
I love that article from the fact that, and everyone, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are picturing Trevor Lawrence as the savior of Jacksonville, that he's going to come in, turn everything around, take the Jaguars to the playoff run, maybe a Super Bowl, and all this stuff. And Trevor Lawrence doesn't have that mindset. He doesn't have that chip on his shoulder where it's like, all right, I got to go do this, I got to do. All Trevor Lawrence has to do is just go out there and have fun and keep doing what he's doing. And it's really refreshing to hear because essentially Trevor Lawrence, like in this article, he's speaking like he's finally figured out at age 21. Like his maturity is beyond his years. Like I didn't figure it out until I was out of the NFL, until I pursued MMA professionally, where it's like you don't owe anybody anything. You don't need to worry about what everybody else is doing and on the outside in terms of the media and all that stuff. All you got to do, man, is just do what you do. And Trevor Lawrence seems to have that under grasp, which is insane because he's the highest touted quarterback coming out of college, maybe since Andrew Luck, and he's gonna be the #1 overall pick. It's not to say he doesn't care about the game of football because he cares about the game of football, but he doesn't have that ego where it's like I got to do this for somebody, I got to do this. No, I'm just gonna do this for myself.
Yeah, there's very few guys I've covered over the years that you could really pull that from them. I was thinking about it coming in. I was like, all right. When people talk about Trevor Lawrence and people ask me about Trevor Lawrence, and I almost hesitate to say this on the airwaves sometimes here in Jacksonville, but I can't. I use this, and I don't know this for sure because I don't know Trevor Lawrence well enough, but just from what I've gathered and what I know of this other person, I feel like from the way you cover him, the layers you have to kind of get through to get to him, like so far, like we haven't been able to talk to him, but he's not talking to many people. He's done like very few interviews. Sports Illustrated obviously is a big outlet. NFL Network, big outlet. And the NFL probably has a little bit of, hey, please do this in that.
Sure.
ESPN, same thing. I think he did something with Kirk Herbstreit, or he will be doing something with Kirk Herbstreit coming up that's running this weekend, I believe, in fact. So very few people have talked to him pre-draft. He has not made like this whole circuit that so many do, right? And go pop in here and there. Now, the Super Bowl didn't have that this year, right? The NFL Combine didn't have that this year. So there were some reasons behind it. But the person I equate to right now, at least in my mind, and we'll see, is covering Tebow and Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Like, I see a lot of Tebow in Trevor Lawrence in terms of how big he is, how big he's been. Tebow was a star for a long time, like before he got to college even. He was big around here. It was a big deal. He was the chosen one,
Sure.
in Sports Illustrated. Trevor Lawrence has had that for a long time. Obviously, they're both bound by their faith in big ways, and that's kind of what guides them. They know the spotlight. They're comfortable in the spotlight, but the spotlight doesn't seem to define them. And so I'm talking about the person. Obviously, there are so many people that believe Trevor Lawrence is going to be a way better NFL quarterback than Tim Tebow was. But if you think about how big Tim Tebow was, the face of college football, right? Trevor Lawrence has been the face of college football. We don't get to cover many of those folks, right? I mean, we really don't. And so I think the closest I can come to defining how I've covered somebody around here that I feel like there's going to be a little bit of this in Trevor Lawrence is Tebow. And it's not exactly the same, by the way. Don't get me wrong. It's not exactly. There's certainly differences. But there's just not too many people to compare him to. After going to his hometown, after going to Clemson, and then you get things like Tebow who says, hey, in the next decade, he might be a global icon. Like, he's going to help change your city. The person he is, not really the football player is. Well, that's exactly how people viewed Tebow, right? I mean, that's how people talked about Tebow. So, again, off the football field especially, but the outside stuff, that's the only comp I can draw to. I was coming in and thinking a little bit about, like, even a Calais Campbell, because I don't think, like, football defines Calais.
No.
But then if I ask Calais, it'd be like, if he has, like, a chip on his shoulder, I would say, yeah, he does carry that chip, man. There's a little something about, I got picked or I got picked, and I think there is a little bit of that, not in a bad way. So I just think there are a few athletes, especially at the age of 21, like Trevor Lawrence, that would come out in that kind of article, and that's who he is. And I surely believe that's who he is, by the way, after really doing a lot of research on this guy for the last few months. It's genuine in that nature. I just don't think you get too many athletes, especially at that age, that we cover that are like this.
So the difference between Tim Tebow and Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, and I don't know Trevor Lawrence either, but I remember when I was training for the Combine, and it was myself and it was Sam Bradford and a couple of other highly noted guys coming out of college, and then Tim Tebow came by to kind of scout the location to see if this was going to be the spot that he was going to train. And I've shared this story before, but when he came to see if the spot was going to be good for him, he had like an entourage of like 20 people. Like there was a camera's crew, like there was his family, like it was, literally 20 people coming in the gym, which it wasn't the biggest gym, at the time. And they're all coming through here, and it's like everyone had a job. It was literally like entourage. I don't get that sense with Trevor Lawrence. I don't get that sense and I think he understands like how much influence he could have or how big of a moment it's going to be when he goes number one. I think he gauges all of that. I just don't think that he feels the need to embrace it. Or to use that for some reason. Not to say Tim Tebow was doing that either, but I think Tim Tebow understood the gravity of what he brought to college football and then later on to the pros, because you saw people that traveled with Tim Tebow. With Trevor Lawrence, it's different. And once again, I think that's refreshing. I think that's a pretty cool thing because that's rare, especially from the quarterback position being number 1 overall. If I was going to compare him to somebody, nobody really from the NFL comes out to mind right away. Because once again, if you're talking about the first quarterback taken, there's usually a little bit of an attitude. I mean, I think like Baker Mayfield, right? There's a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. I would compare him to like Mike Trout, where Mike Trout, even coming out of I don't know who Mike Trout was coming out of high school. And I still don't know a lot about Mike Trout to this day. I know he's got his own cleats and stuff like that, or his own spikes, I guess if you call them baseball. But besides that, I don't know much about Mike Trout. And that's okay, because Mike Trout is probably the greatest baseball player right now in the MLB. But people wouldn't even realize that. You wouldn't see him on all these interviews. You don't see him on social media tweeting up a storm. And that's okay, because he's a fantastic baseball player. I think that Trevor Lawrence can take that road, and maybe that's what we get with him.
Yeah, that's a great call there. I like that. Comfortable, doesn't seek it, the spotlight. And that's one thing I learned in Cartersville. Like, he does not seek the spotlight, and those folks there are very respectful of that, we've done millions of these stories, and by the way, it's not a bad thing. It's not really a seeking of the spotlight, but it's just kind of, hey, this is kind of cool. Let's enjoy it. Well, it's not really cool anymore for Trevor Lawrence, even to be the number 1 pick. I mean, he's been, I think, this number 1 guy since 8th grade. So it's just the coolness is worn off, whether it's college, high school, or now the NFL. That's not really that stands out to him. I do say this, too. It's funny you brought that up about Tebow. And, again, just different. I think they are different in that respect. I think Tebow knew he had this huge platform. And we're also coming of the early age now of social media. So it's not like 10 years into social media. So everybody's kind of like, what is going on here? How are we going to travel through this and navigate this with Tebow, who's like the Beatles, at the time? So I think it's an interesting dynamic just being a decade or so apart. But I do think part of, this is my view, I don't know, but I think part of why Tim Tebow probably took the Jets instead of the Jags is it was a bigger platform for what he wanted to do that is bigger than football. I think there was that outreach part of Tebow that said, hey, I can help change more people's lives, I don't sense that yet, at least from Trevor Lawrence, that he's actively going to try to help change people's lives. I think he just kind of subconsciously does it, and I think people around him believe that he will do that. You know what I mean?
I think, and once again, I mean, obviously once he gets more ingrained and gets more comfortable, this could change. But right now where Trevor Lawrence stands, I don't see him parlaying anything from being the first pick overall, from being the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't see him parlaying anything in terms of endorsements, in terms of interviews, in terms of just, fame and all that stuff. I just see him parlaying and saying, hey, I have a chance to go play football. It's the game that I love. It's the game I grew up playing, and let's see what happens. And that's okay, man. That's different. That's refreshing. It's just hard to go from the guy that you had with Gardner Minshew, who was always good for a quality soundbite, or who would be on these NFL Network segments and all these things. Yeah. It's hard to go from that now to Trevor Lawrence. But hey, if you're winning football games, I don't think anyone's going to care.
Yeah, well, it is an interesting 180. I mean, even Bortles, right? I mean, Bortles doing barstool stuff.
Yeah.
And now I just don't think you're going to get that. I agree with that. And now you got a guy who's married. Who's kind of settled down, is way beyond his years. It feels like.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, we say all this, and we really don't even know him. We really don't. I mean, I've never met the young man. So it's just all these pieces that you're kind of putting together from what you read, from what you hear, from who you talk to. And it's unique. It is not like many athletes. And add to that the unbelievable talent. Just this unbelievable talent. I mean, again, you can't get anybody that won't say that. And he has been that down. I really like what you said about Mike Trout. He's another guy that I don't really know. He flies under the radar quite a bit. It's not like he'll never do an endorsement. I think Trevor Lawrence will do endorsements, but he'll be very picky about them. I don't think he's actively going to seek that stuff out. Trout, amazingly, with all his gifts and talents, is kind of under the radar. I think Trevor would welcome that if he's a little bit under the radar in the NFL. I don't know if he'll have that luxury because it's the NFL shield instead of Major League Baseball. He's not stuck on the West Coast, per se, like Trout has been. Yeah. And let's be honest, he's the quarterback of a football team. There are a lot of really good players in Major League Baseball, even although we think Mike Trout's the best, there's a lot of other ones to pick from. And so that's a fascinating watch. And like we started the segment, the more and more you look at Trevor Lawrence, I just don't know if there are many comps to him. If you carry the tool set that he has and the talents that he has with what seems like the persona and the maturity and all the rest, and what drives him, I just don't know if we have many athletes. I'm not saying there are none. There certainly are more like him, probably, but there are very few.
And another one that comes to mind, and I'm trying to scavenge right now through my Rolodex of all professional athletes because I can't find him in the NFL. Found one in the MLB. NHL, I mean, it is what it is. NBA, it's kind of hard. But I would also say, and we've talked about him before on the show, from MMA, Khabib. Because the thing about Khabib was that he was never about the cameras, the glory. He was about mixed martial arts because his dad instilled it in him at a young age. And the guy goes 29-0. And especially in the fight game, but you can kind of compare this a little bit to football as well. When you get wrapped up on social media, and I get it, every player is different, and I don't know the type of personality that Trevor Lawrence was bringing to the table. But I feel like when you get wrapped up in social media, when you get wrapped up of, what the big wigs say, like Stephen A. Smith, like we see right now, Kevin Durant, going at everybody's neck, it seems like.
Yeah.
In terms of what they're saying about him.
He's listening. He's got rabbit ears.
That costs energy.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't care how old you are. I don't care how vibrant you are, how energetic you are. You only get so much energy per day to apply to your craft. And I think that when you start losing your energy on stupid things like, and I'm not saying social media is stupid, but it can be stupid. It can be the fakest world that you can surround yourself with, let's just say. And when you spend a lot of energy on that, I think that takes away from performance on the field. Whether you want to admit it or not, it just does. And I think with Trevor Lawrence, and once again, we'll see how this pans out. We're trying to paint a picture of Trevor Lawrence right now. We don't even know the canvas. But here we are trying to paint a picture of who this guy is. But I just feel like Trevor Lawrence has the understanding of, I'm going to spend my energy with football, with my teammates, with my coaches, and then when I get acclimated to that, then maybe some of the fun things can come into play. But right now, I'm going to do what I've always done since I was a kid, and that's just have fun playing football, and I support that.
We're talking about Trevor Lawrence in the Sports Illustrated article that came out today. By the way, I did love this. We just talked about this. I just said this. It's one of my favorite quotes, and I'm glad Trevor and I are on the same page.
There it is.
Because I share this all the time with the kids.
Okay.
I just said this on the show the other day, though.
Okay.
He says, I want to do it because I want to be the best I can be. I want to maximize my potential. Who wouldn't want to? Mm-hmm. You kind of waste it if you don't. Sure. We just said that. We were just talking about that conversation the other day, actually, about max, whether you're in work, whether you're in sports, whether you're in whatever. Yep. So I love hearing that from him because then I can just clip that and show the kids. But here's another part of what he says. It's hard to explain that because I want people to know that I'm passionate about what I do and it's really important to me, but I don't have this huge chip on my shoulder that everyone's out to get me and I'm trying to prove everybody wrong. I just don't have that. I can't manufacture that. I don't want to. And sports is built on that, right? I mean, I think a lot of people's lives are built on that from a competitive standpoint. Who did me wrong? Who doesn't believe in me? Some of it's fabricated, right? I mean, you talk about a guy like Jalen Ramsey. I always thought it was amazing. Jalen, where he came from, how he developed such a chip and competitive edge that he would just manufacture these things to get himself going. We just saw the documentary on Michael Jordan, though, right, last year. Mm-hmm. Jordan did the same thing, man. Yeah. He basically makes something up that you said about him just to get him going.
Yes. Yes.
So people that's a lot of sports folks, but a lot of people in general are built on that, something to motivate you, get that extra lift in the weight room, get something else. So it's an interesting quote. I haven't heard many athletes say, I don't have a chip on my shoulder, and I'm not trying to manufacture that chip on my shoulder.
And all that tells me, and we're getting super deep right now into sports psychology. I definitely don't have a PhD in that. But to me, what it says is when he doesn't need the outside influences, when he doesn't need a chip on his shoulder, that means that you're self-motivated. You don't need to draw things from what people say to try to motivate you. Because it's one thing, if you're going through the dog days of summer and training camp, or you're halfway through the season, you've won one game, and then you see what someone says about you. It's like, well, okay, that makes it easy for me to go to work because I want to prove this person wrong.
Yeah.
And then you start finding ammo, to add to your arsenal, basically, to try to fire shots at people and say, hey, I proved you guys wrong. But some people out there, and there's not a lot of them, but some people out there, they don't need that. It's just, I'm going to try to be the best I can because that's who I am. And that's what Trevor Lawrence is. He's self-motivated. He doesn't need the quotes. He doesn't need the, I guess just the, I guess, the resistance from the outside world, he can do it himself, and that's cool.
Here's the last paragraph of the story, all right? And this is cool because you juxtapose that, right? I don't need a chip, and you self-motivate. You just said it. Well, here's the last lines of the story today in Sports Illustrated. Before Lawrence's senior year, King, who was the coach at Cartersville High, brought the quarterback into his office, tried to pry something out of him. Goals, Trevor. You must have goals. Name one goal. As King recalls, quote, he wasn't staring me in the eye or anything. There was probably a hair flip or shoulder shrug when he said it. Lawrence casually told him, Coach, I just want to be the best that's ever done it. They never spoke of it again.
There you go.
Just matter of fact.
Yes.
Boom. So if you're wondering if the guy has motivation and all that stuff, no, that's not the moral of the story.
Yeah.
It does bring up. Go ahead.
I say all this, okay? But if I'm Trevor Lawrence's agent and I see the company that you surround yourself with, because it did a great job of showing who his wife now is and his brother is, and his brother is like the complete 180 of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, doing psychedelics balance. And stuff, it's fantastic. But if I'm an agent, I'm just saying, hey, this first year, let's just focus on football. But year number 2 or year number 3, when you get it all figured out, I'm calling the E! Network, and we're getting our own reality TV show. Because, and I'll be honest, Brent, I'm not in, with all due respect to the E! Network, unless they want to, a little endorsement money. But I can't stand the E! Network. The Real Housewives, all that crap. I'm all set, dude. I'm all set. But if there was a reality TV show with Trevor Lawrence, his wife, and Trevor's brother, like living in the garage or something like that, I'm all in on that. That's like Hard Knocks. That's like the Real Housewives of Hard Knocks right there. And I'm all in. Let's go.
I love the dynamic of their family. I mean, you couldn't get more farther apart, yet they're really close,
And his wife seems like the ultimate alpha. Like she seems like she's like about the business, and Trevor's kind of more laid back, and then his brother is just the brother. It's like, let's go. I need that.
That could be a good TV show. I don't think they're going to sign up for it.
Let's
take a break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. There was one more moment on this article because there was something that could scare fans, scare you a little bit. Does it scare you? And I'm going to ask this with some context. A little bit more Trevor talk on the way, plus some mock draft talk. And guess who's coming on the show today? Daniel Jeremiah. We'll call him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Only if I call him.
We'll see if he passes the test.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
We're tracking mostly sunny skies today, another warm one this afternoon in the mid to upper 80s, inland near 80 at the coast. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy this evening. An overnight shower possible, but temperatures down to the low 60s. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
I'm getting the vaccine so that I can travel and be safe.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks Arrest Training Helpline for all you newbies out there, where staying away from safe touch houses is not just a motto.
It's a golden rule.
Correct. Today, we'll point out the differences in video surveillance systems. First, The ding-dong doorbell camera.
Simple, easy to install, and easy to hack.
Yep. You know the news stories about hackers and employees hacking into those do-it-yourself video cameras.
But not with SafeTouch.
Right. SafeTouch has multiple safeguards, including encrypted technology, which protects it from hackers.
Plus, now SafeTouch offers advanced video surveillance systems with interior, exterior, and 24/7 video storage.
Just one more reason we always stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Tattoo that on your brain, newbie.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Need a good-paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Don't miss the gun show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the gun show.
Stick to your 2021 New Year's resolutions. Commit to fitness with Body Armor Sports Drink. Buy $20 worth of Body Armor products and get $10 in fitness cash to one of your favorite brands by uploading your receipt on BACommitToFit.com. Body Armor available at your local Winn-Dixie.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Austin Lane.
And Tony Khan clap back. There you go, Coos. There's a clap back for you.
Clapped.
So,
It's
just
a gamer thing.
Eric Clapton. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good gamer name.
I'm using that tonight.
Gamer names.
Check your boy, Eric Clapton.
Oh, that's so good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah. You guys just had a moment.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Coos is off to the wedding.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. I had to hit him up today because
You already had to get to him?
I already get because I forgot to send him my Shock Your Mock for today. So I had to make sure that was in the system and ready to roll.
Are you going to have to do that every day?
I don't think so, Steven. I might just start sending them to you. Who knows, man? I think we'll be all right.
Steven's back.
Steven is back.
For the next few days.
Yes.
But it's hard to replace Coos, but Steven did a good job.
It's pretty easy, actually, because Steven can talk anime with me. He can talk a lot of it. He can talk comic books, so I'm ready to roll with Steven.
I think this is really hard for Coos. Coos does a lot at the station here, okay? Not just on ESPN 690.
The ultimate utility player.
He kind of keeps things together in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I don't even know all the stuff that he does, okay?
It's a lot.
So I think this is very hard. Trust me, been in the business for a while. You can try to turn it off, and it's really hard to turn it off. So we were talking about with the phone stuff last week?
Sure.
Like,
you don't think he's just going to enjoy the break, though, and be like, see you suckers later?
Well, I think you can get there.
I hope so.
But it takes a little bit to get there.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like today, we won't be there.
Yeah, if you're partying, though.
Yeah, I don't know. He's driving today.
That's good. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I got a feeling Coos will be checking in more often than he should be checking in.
Because he's the constant professional.
Yeah.
We appreciate him. No, I'm not going to lie.
We're just still trying to figure out that healthy life balance.
Yeah, for sure. Now, if we're being honest here, and I love this show very much, and I hold it dear to my heart, but if I'm on vacation, no disrespect to the show, doesn't even cross my mind.
I've gotten way better at that.
Okay.
Way better at that overall.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's just like, do you feel like, all right, it's all good?
Yeah.
Right? After you do it. I mean, I would say year one, if it went away, I was kind of like probably checking in every day.
Sure.
Now it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Just keep,
now it's
just
like,
don't burn the place down.
Take a couple days off. You're good to go, man.
But I've
You're
gotten
on the road
way better at that. But I
Yeah.
was awful at that. I hated going on vacation. I always say, like, you have to work twice as hard just to get to vacation.
Sure.
Sometimes in our business.
Yeah.
Because leaving it.
Vacation was
I'm
that.
sure a lot of people's business are like that, but you feel like all the way. I'd work till 3 a.m. the day before I went to vacation just to get all the stuff
Just to try to tell yourself that it's worth it. I hear you. Do what you got to do.
Anyway, hey, let's wrap up on the Trevor Lawrence conversation real quick. In that article, it's hard not to think of a guy like Andrew Luck, who also probably is very much like at least Trevor's portrayed to be in terms of comfortable in his own skin. It's not just football that is the only important thing like in the world to him.
Yeah.
Even though that's the right thing to say. He was a little bit different in that sense, too, from afar, at least, when he played for the Indianapolis Colts. And now, listen, he had some injuries, but everybody has injuries in this game. And all of a sudden, he retired.
Yeah.
And he retired. Now, he played quite a bit. It's not like he played 2 seasons and retired, but he retired way earlier than anybody else would ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And so much so that you even think he might be coming back at some point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you read that article and any fear of that? Or do you think Jags fans will have that fear of, hey, maybe this guy's so comfortable in what he's done, what he's doing, and at some point we might run into that here. When Trevor's 28 years old and he's had a ton of success, he might be like, you know what, I just feel good enough. I don't have to get to Canton, Ohio. You played with a guy that was like Calvin Johnson, right?
Sure.
Barry Sanders hung it up early. I mean, guys do that. Players do that. Some of the great players do that.
Players do that. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not going to worry about it when he's not on the team yet. It doesn't pay to think like that. If he can even give you, how many years did Andrew Luck at the Colts?
It's a good question. And
I feel like it was a while.
Was it 18 that he retired? So that would have been 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 7 seasons, but I think he missed like 1 whole season.
Yeah. Let me look that up real quick because, I mean, that'll be a telling factor. Am I worried about it? No. But at the same, so he played in 86, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 years.
So that's it, yeah.
Yeah, 6 years for Andrew Luck, which is, it seems like he played a lot longer in the league than that. Is that going to be in the back of my mind with Trevor Lawrence? Maybe. But he said it himself. He wants to be the best to ever do it. And if you're going to be the best that ever does it, and we know how Dan Marino gets treated sometimes because he didn't win a Super Bowl, you got to win the big one. So if we're talking about Trevor Lawrence hoisting the Lombardi trophy, glitter and graffiti and everything's falling from the skies, his brother's in the back saying, check us out on the E! Network, and I'm like, I told you they're going to get a show together. I told you, give me my paycheck right now. If that happens and he decides to walk away after Jacksonville's got a Lombardi trophy, then so be it. But I don't see him taking that road. I think he's going to try to play as Eben Britton or myself, or even Julian Edelman said, going to play till the wheels fall off.
Yeah. I think first of all, I didn't bring this up to scare you. I just am being honest with you that the Andrew Luck was even mentioned in there, that it came up with a guy that's that comfortable and football doesn't drive you. It doesn't mean he doesn't love football, but it says, okay, I'm willing to, if I got out tomorrow, like it's like,
but he was still a competitor. Like, I don't want you to misspeak. Like Andrew Luck was still a hell of a competitor when he was on the field.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Like,
he loved the game. I mean, you could tell the way he played the game.
Sure,
loved the game.
Yeah.
And injuries certainly factored in. It looked like it took his toll on him. It wore him out toward the end.
For sure.
And priorities do change. Like I have a tremendous amount of respect for people that do that. But if it's your franchise and everything else, I could see why that also would be. I mean, Indianapolis fans might still not be over it. They've been good. They probably feel like they're so good. Imagine if Andrew Luck had been a part of them these last couple of years, they would have won it all.
right?
Let's say, and once again, this is all theoretically, and I'm not even trying to speak into existence. But let's say that Trevor Lawrence, maybe let's say in 8 or 9 years, takes the Andrew Luck route, where he's got some left to give, but he decides to walk away from the game. Let's say that you and I are both doing the same thing, which would be crazy to think about. But let's say we're doing the same thing right now. We're at TIA Bank Field or whatever it's called, and it's preseason games, and we get the word that Trevor Lawrence is going to walk out, and we get word before anybody else knows about it. Now, don't worry about me, because I don't care about the clout, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to ask you. If you found out about it, that he was going to retire, and nobody announced it yet, would you try to break the news, or would you let him do it himself? Because remember, that's happened with Andrew Luck at the preseason, and he kind of rubbed them the wrong way a little bit, because the plan was to let Andrew Luck announce it. Word gets out early, and fans are like booing him, essentially, when he's walking out.
Yeah, I think a surprised, it's so hard for it not to get out now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so you better not tell anybody if you're going to do that.
But I'm saying, would you do it? Would you say it? Or not?
I think it's actually if you actually have the story, I mean, I think it's kind of your responsibility to report it. I mean, now Trevor and I can work out over the next 6-7 years, depending on how many times he wants to come on the show.
True.
But I think, and listen, by the way, I'm not this guy that thinks of that stuff anyway. Yeah. I say enjoy the ride, and he does too. He's like, I don't think about tomorrow, or I don't think about down the road. He says it stresses him out thinking him down the road. Just boom. But Andrew Luck kind of made people change things. It's such an interesting dynamic, because we've seen guys running back position. You got it right. I mean,
you saw
Gale Sayers didn't play for very
No,
long.
for
in his
sure.
career.
And then you saw guys with kind of worried about CTE, like Chris Bourne. I reminded of out of Wisconsin.
Those are some abrupt ones.
Played for San Fran. Like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
But they were always like, with all due respect to him, but it was like the linebacker position. It was never the quarterback, like one of the best in the league at the time.
And that's why Andrew Luck was stunning. And so, and you have this crazy dynamic right now where we say, well, Tom Brady's pushing the envelope to 43, 44, 45, playing at a high level, to the point where if you're in Atlanta, you ask yourself, hey, Matt Ryan, I mean, you might play for another 5 or 6 years at a high level.
Yeah.
Look at what Tom Brady's doing. But then you have this other side of the spectrum, Andrew Luck, where it's like, I've had enough. I mean, I've played football all my life. I'm now 30 years old, and I've had enough. And so there's no rhyme or reason to it. But our expectation now goes to Trevor Lawrence might be around. He's 21 now. He could play for the next 20 years. Look at Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's team chip on his shoulder, right? Do I have him pegged right? Where it's like again? Tom Brady is team chip on his shoulder, like where he needs the outside influence a little bit.
I was thinking about that. I would say not. I would say yes. I'd say a lot of it's self-driven.
I mean, going over in the 6th round.
But if you go 6th round, you're 199th pick. I think there's a lot of that to start it. I think now he feels he's a little of both. I think he was that way. That's what's interesting about Lawrence saying that at 21. I think every kid that's coming out is kind of like that, right? I mean, Maurice Jones-Drew built a career off that, wore the number because of that.
Correct.
And so, again, it's not wrong to have a chip on your shoulder. And then I think Brady is a little bit – he seems way more comfortable in kind of who he is, and now self-driven to say, I want to go to 45. But don't you think he's driven by people saying, you can't go to 45. You're old, man. You're getting old. So there's definitely outside influences on the Brady front. Is South Beach Gary on the line? Okay, he's gone. All right. So we'll maybe visit with South Beach Gary a little bit later. I'm not going to get to the mock draft just yet. There's a 7-round mock draft. We'll do that in a bit. And also these off-season workouts. There's word now that the Patriots have told Bill Belichick. That's Bill Belichick, by the way. It's the Patriot way.
Yes.
That they might not go. I don't know if there's anything official on that. I think I saw some scuttlebutt on social media. But it just begs, how many teams are going to do this? I mean, Seattle and Denver, maybe more teams have done it.
Yeah.
But how many teams are going to say, hey, we're opting out?
So, it's weird because, like, even with the Patriots last year, remember how many players opted out for COVID-19? That was kind of surprising.
8 or 9. I think they had most in the league.
Yeah, for sure. But, and with all due respect to Urban Meyer here, but if any coach was going to be disappointed that his team was opting out and not choosing to come to OTAs and all this stuff, it would have to be Bill Belichick, would it not? Like, you just get this sense where it's like, hey, guys, we underachieved last year, got a lot of new faces. Let's get in here, and then let's get on the same page. Like, I feel like Bill Belichick would be kicking, down the door to say, we got to have these OTAs. We got to have these spring ball practices. And if the Patriots are going to agree with it and say, we're not going to do that, well, then I feel like every other team in the NFL is going to fall in line.
Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting. Here's the deal. Summary of the offseason program is this. 9 weeks in length, this is according to the NFL. Voluntary except for one mandatory minicamp. That's where you can get fined. First phase is 4 weeks, April 19th to May 14th. Virtual meetings, 2 hours per day at club's direction. No on-field drills or work with coaches. Facility and weight room capacity limits remain in place. Clubs will make every effort to have the vaccine available for players. Second phase, 17th to the 21st, like a week. Virtual meetings, on-field drills with coaches per CBA rules. So that first one is really in the weight room and meeting rooms and everything else. Third phase is 4 weeks, basically the end of May to June 18th. OTAs, 10 of them. Full speed but no contact, in-person virtual meetings, includes a mandatory minicamp. And that's about sums it up. So some players, obviously, and some teams are opting out of that. Now they'll have to show up for the mandatory minicamp. What I also wonder is if teams don't go to that, will coaches, in their own little subtle way, kind of punish them in training camp with a punishing training camp, to make sure they're ready to go for the season. There's a lot of things. I'm interested to see how many teams do this. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Will the CBA, will the NFLPA, fall in line? Will they all be on the same page, or is this really situational, circumstantial, and places like Seattle, you feel okay about doing it? Tampa, it makes some sense. Jacksonville, young team, new coach. Are you afraid to go up to Urban Meyer and be like, Coach, we're going to opt out as you shake your way up there?
It's a rough one. Take away that chicken cordon bleu and all like the T-bone steaks in the cafeteria. We're taking away the exclusive hot tubs now, and we're going back to the old days. Troughs for everybody.
We'll see if Daniel Jeremiah is willing to answer my phone call. NFL Network analyst coming up next. We'll ask him about this. I'll be interested to get his thoughts, see if the whole league will do it. Plus some talk about Trevor and the rest of the draft. Daniel Jeremiah up next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
Happy Wednesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. NFL offseason workouts are scheduled to begin April 19th, but at least 3 teams are going to err on the side of caution during the continuing COVID-19 situation. Neither Denver, Seattle, nor Tampa will have players report to their facilities. No word on if the Jags plan to work out as scheduled yet. Speaking of the Jags, they have signed D-tackle Daniel Ross, who's already spent some time with the team. Baseball superstar Alex Rodriguez is close to buying the Minnesota Timberwolves in the NBA, but the team's rookie star had this to say about A-Rod.
Do you have any thoughts about him? Are you an A-Rod fan at all growing up or anything like that? What you think about what he might bring to the team?
A fan? Who is he?
The baseball player, Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
How many teams really need to change the starting quarterback position? That list is probably 4 or 5 teams.
They are.
Washington, Chicago. Let's throw Carolina in there, even though they have a starter. Patriots is 4. Who else?
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Or streaming live on the ESPN app.
Beards Diamonds has been busy this spring.
Getting their showcases ready for the largest inventory of wedding bands in North Florida.
So if you're getting married soon or want to upgrade your bands, don't miss Beards Diamonds' incredible buy one, get one wedding band sale.
Going on now and only at Beards Diamonds. All wedding bands are buy one, get one free.
Save thousands.
Plus all stackables.
All right-hand rings.
All eternity bands and more are buy one, get one free.
See hundreds of the latest styles from famous designers at beardsdiamonds.com.
It's the largest selection of wedding bands in North Florida at the guaranteed lowest price.
Couples wait for this sale all year.
Buy any wedding band and get the other band free.
Now you can go bigger and better with the setting she's always dreamed of during Beard's Buy One, Get One sale.
Going on now through the 25th.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Too many people in our community face hunger. Fortunately, Catholic Charities Jacksonville helps food insecure people every day in the most cost-effective way. Throughout COVID-19, they've served 140 local families weekly, but they need your help. And with a generous donor offering a matching challenge, there's no better time. Right now, your donation to Catholic Charities Jacksonville's Feed a Family Fund will have double the positive impact. Please visit ccbjacks.org to feed a local family today.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
All right, Austin Lane, I got bailed out. I hadn't been this upset in a long time.
Really ruined the whole dynamic of the show, actually.
Ruined the whole show last week.
Ruined your whole attitude.
I had worked with nice fella Andrew from the NFL Network for the last couple months, trying to get Daniel Jeremiah on the show, and last week I blew it.
Yeah, you did.
I was supposed to call. We were supposed to call. And
don't say we. You were supposed to call. Don't bring me into
I can't
it, though.
literally call. That's why I say we.
Okay, but don't bring me into it, though, because it wasn't really my fault at all.
Nah, you're a not my fault guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a not my fault guy.
You sound like my kids.
Okay, I'm just saying, man. Let's point the blame in the right direction right now.
Fair enough. I took the blame.
Thank you.
I screwed up the show last week.
Thank you.
And Andrew was kind enough, and Daniel Jeremiah was kind enough to still come back this week and not ban me from their Rolodex.
Yes.
If Rolodexes still exist.
I doubt it.
No. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, Austin Lane. It's Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. And Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network joins us right now. Daniel, we appreciate you taking some time. Sorry about last week.
Hey, I got to be honest with you guys. This is one of the few times that it wasn't my screw up. I thought for sure, I'm like, I have messed something up, and it's got to be 100% on me. So I was actually relieved and pleased to know that that I didn't have a screw up on this one, and it was really no big deal. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, I appreciate you, and I know you're a busy guy and a lot of work to get into. But you just heard Austin Lane, former Jags player. In the scouting process, if you had met a not my fault guy, I mean, that would have been a big mark against him, wouldn't
it? You know what's funny is I was just talking to a personnel buddy the other day, the director of player personnel, and we were talking about his visit with a quarterback, and I don't even think he wasn't even a top tier guy, but just a quarterback in this draft. And he was like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, 'cause with the Zooms now, they get these kids on there for darn near an hour, right? And they're just going over film. And so the NFL teams will put together cut-ups. And usually there's some good cut-ups and showing what your read was, what'd you see, why'd you do what you did, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll always, take a handful of bad plays and put it on there and just kind of hear him explain it away. He's like, this guy, I mean, it was the center's fault on the first play. The receiver ran the wrong route on the second play. The play call was terrible on the third play. He was like, by the time we finished the reel, he had blamed everybody in the whole organization and not taking accountability for any single mistake. He said it was the darndest thing I'd ever seen.
Daniel, when we talk about not having the combine this year, and I was there back in 2010, and I was underneath those bright lights with Jack Del Rio and the entire Jaguars organization beating me down with questions. I thought I was going to puke. But now we don't have the combine to go off of. What you have is Zoom. And we've all been on Zoom conversations before. Is there a feeling from scouts and GMs where, okay, you can ask them the questions, you can put them on the board, but do you truly get a feel for what type of person you're going to be getting if you do indeed draft them via these Zoom meetings now?
Yeah, you know what? They're getting more comfortable with it. I think there was a lot of apprehension for kind of the obvious reasons. And is this not going to be the same? You're not in the room. I can't look you eye to eye. I can't see what kind of presence you have, confidence, all those things. But in talking to him more, because it's not just limited to the one visit, maybe you would have you'd have the combine 15 minutes, and then maybe you fly them in, which you're limited on that on the 30 visits, so they come to the facility, spend a day with you. And then that was kind of it. Maybe see them at the pro day, have breakfast with them if you could pull that off. But now you're talking about these guys having multiple Zoom meetings. I mean, a bunch of them, and then they record them. So if I'm the coordinator and I can't Zoom all these guys at one time, but my position coach can do a Zoom with him one week, I can then watch that, see kind of, okay, well, this brought this question to my mind. Then I Zoom with the kid the next week, and we fill in the gaps. So I think it's actually turned out to be a pretty good thing that teams are getting more comfortable with.
Daniel Jeremiah with us from the NFL Network. Follow him at Move the Sticks on Twitter. And, of course, all of the NFL Network coverage coming up in Cleveland, April 29th through May 1st. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Well, this one's simple. Daniel, it's Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you haven't had to budge that for a long, long time. Give us your scouting perspective. Is it as good as everybody else believes Trevor Lawrence can be and will be?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be a contrarian and tell you that I'm the one person that's kind of figured this whole thing out and that everybody else is wrong. He's really good, man. He's everything that you want in terms of the skill set that he has, everything you want in terms of the intangibles. If you want to use the face of the franchise cliche or what have you, he's had all that on his shoulders. I was talking with Tebow this morning and said, look, this guy went from having the pressure on him to be the high school starter as a freshman to the pressure of performing as an All-American, coming into Clemson and the pressure that he needs to beat out these guys when they're not losing any games, and then he's got to win a national championship. I mean, he's delivered time and time and time again. So it doesn't bother him. He's very even keel, and the skill set, I mean, it's not hard to figure that out. He's pretty darn talented.
Yeah, he checks all the boxes. I don't scout quarterbacks, but I guess the one curiosity I have, and I asked Dabo this earlier in the week as well, you got Urban Meyer who doesn't lose. You have Trevor Lawrence who doesn't lose. They are going to lose, and I'm not trying. They understand that. I get it. But would you be curious as a scout, as a GM, as a coach, of how this kid will respond during, say, a 3-game losing streak in an NFL season?
Well, I think we had a good litmus test last year, right? I mean, Joe Burrow was somebody who did not lose his last year there at LSU. And didn't lose much in his life, and he was miserable, which is exactly what I'd want from my quarterback when you're not playing well as a team, and kind of drives him, and I think drives through him everybody else to try and step it up a little bit and to work harder. I'd worry about a guy if you lose and you go into the tank. To me, I think Joe Burrow was a great example of you lost and it kind of ticked him off. I think that ends up being a good thing.
Daniel, obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to be the biggest story here in Jacksonville, but I'm also selfish, and for me personally, it'll be 1A. But 1B is what I need to happen at the 3rd pick of the draft, and that's with the San Francisco 49ers. Because since this past April, I've said that, mark my words, Trey Lance is going to San Francisco. Then all of a sudden they trade up a little bit, give up some draft capital. It's like, okay, the whole Trey Lance experiment could be in full effect. But I hear Mac Jones. Where do you stand on this right now? Are they going Mac Jones? Are they going Justin Fields, Trey Lance? What is your gut telling you right now? Or what are your sources telling you?
Yeah, I'll give you 3 answers to one question. So here's the 3 answers. In terms of everybody that you talk to and that's close with Kyle and what do you expect, everything that I hear is Mac Jones, that he just really likes Mac Jones. The decision wasn't final, but that's where everything was kind of pointing, and he's the heavy favorite. The second part of that is what would I do in that situation? I'd take Trey Lance. I just would. I really love that kid. Now, he's got some – he's not pinpoint accurate. There's some things he can improve on mechanically. I think that'll help him there. But in terms of his ability level, I visited with him. He's an impressive kid. I mean, he is really sharp. He protects the football. He helps you expand the playbook with some of the design quarterback run game stuff that he can do. So I'm a Trey Lance guy. So that's what I would do. And the third answer I would give you was, I'd be great to me if they took Justin Fields. I'd be okay with that as well. I think he's not finished yet either as a product, but man, there's so much to work with. So I would have those 2 options personally over Mac Jones. But everything that you hear is that Kyle just loves the way that kid plays the game and fits what he does. So at the end of the day, it's what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are comfortable with and who fits them best. And I think we'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down.
Daniel Jeremiah with us for a couple more minutes.
We're on the same page.
Yeah,
with Trey
we
Lance,
believe Trey
because
Lance.
I need a W so bad on the show. I need a dub, man.
You do.
So great. Well, I mean, this year, it's like, come on. We know 1 and 2. We feel good about that.
Yes.
after that, I mean, you buy a dartboard. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. Mac Jones, by the way, what a story. He's from Jacksonville, and unbelievable. Covering high school football, man, around here. His junior season, I don't even think we paid much attention to him. And all of a sudden, bam, Alabama. Yeah. And now look, third overall pick potentially. What a great sports story.
But this is what I was talking to Jim Nagy about this, who runs the Senior Bowl yesterday. We were talking on the phone. I said, no, this is what just kind of bugs me about this process is it's shaped publicly, and I think a lot of it's just some of the vitriol that exists on the Twitter platform. But it's impossible to like more than one guy. You know, if you like one player, it automatically means you hate the other player. It's like, no, it doesn't. I mean, would I take Mac Jones with the third overall pick? No, but he's a great kid. He's a good player. I think he'll be a solid starting quarterback in the NFL. I hope he does great. If he does go third, I hope that it works out. He has an amazing career. But I just feel like we've kind of framed this stuff. It's like, you hate this guy, you love that guy. Like, nah, it's not really how it works.
Let's wrap up with you here. Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network. I was going to ask you a little bit Kyle Pitts, but we know everybody loves Kyle Pitts. I want to really get to the Jags. They have this bunch of picks in 25, 33, and 45. You're sitting in the room. How much are you balancing, hey, we think this guy's going to fall to 33. We don't need to take him here. They could go a variety of positions. Can you take us in a room of how you would think with that kind of capital between 25 and 45?
Yeah, and you've got an opportunity to move around within there. So they're going to be in a great spot, in a real kind of a sweet spot of this draft at some key positions. You really look at, if you wanted to continue to add depth to that offensive line, you can do that with some quality players in that mix. You look at safety, linebacker. There's good options there. So to me, it does come down to the packages where you say, okay, if we need say we really need a corner, we want to get a corner. Let's just look at our staff. We've got 3 or 4 of them. Even though this guy might be our highest rated player, one of these other 3 or 4 guys is going to be there with this next pick, which isn't far away. That can inform a lot of the decisions. So while we say take the best player on your board, I think they can be a little bit calculated about that and see where there's some pockets of depth, and that'll inform which one they should take first.
Daniel Jeremiah, we appreciate you jumping back in a week later. Sorry about last week. And just think about this, 7 to 8 GM jobs were open this year, and I think all those teams maybe wanted Daniel Jeremiah, at least the fan bases wanted Daniel Jeremiah to be like their next GM. But you get to be like 32 GMs when you do this.
I tell all my buddies that hold that job. Some of them refer to that as blood money, by the way. And I tell them, look, once the draft is over, and I've been in the personnel department where you don't sleep until that first rookie minicamp because you're scared to death these guys you picked are going to show up on the field for your first rookie minicamp and look terrible. It's an awful feeling. I said, I'm going on vacation after the draft. You guys enjoy the heck out of that.
Well, you have earned it by that point. Thanks for taking some time. I know Jacksonville fans enjoyed it as well. Have a good one, man.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Talk soon.
All right. That's Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network. Make sure you check out @MoveTheSticks on Twitter. You can also see Daniel on NFL Network's live coverage coming up from Cleveland, April 29th through May 1st. He is really a good dude. I see him at the Combine, Super Bowls. Everybody's asking for a couple minutes. He's always kind enough to stop by and kind enough to call us back this week after I messed it up a week ago. Yep. Pretty good perspective.
Yeah.
I got a feeling he would have put Kyle Pitts in the Hall of Fame, too. I know he's really high on his board.
As he should be.
I think he's like number 2 on DJ's board. He does like a top 50.
He should be.
All right, we'll take a break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. More football talk on the way. Plus, have you ever heard of Alex Rodriguez? That, too.
Hey, boss.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, so I've been meaning to ask you, how's your mom like a new smartphone?
She loves it. Got like 5,000 pictures of her cat already.
And how's the Safe Touch security app working?
Now, that thing's amazing. Anytime she goes somewhere, she can just open up the app and check on her house.
That's why they say, with Safe Touch, you're never home alone and you're never away from home.
Yeah, the other day she was at the nail salon when she opened up the Safe Touch app and caught Mr. Tinkles living up to his name.
Well, never away from home. I miss the good old days of casing a house so you know when the owners are away.
Yeah, well, with Safe Touch, those days are gone.
Good for your mom, bad for us crooks.
Just another reason to stick to the Crooks and Russ golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Simple as a flip phone.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports free agent Jadeveon Clowney signs a one-year deal with the Cleveland Browns worth up to $10 million. Clowney played only 8 games with the Titans last year because of a nagging knee injury. The 49ers hold the 3rd pick in the draft. They're expected to take a quarterback, but which one? ESPN's Matt Miller.
Justin Fields is great working from the shotgun. He's great in RPO situations, play-action situations, something we know the San Francisco 49ers love to do. He also has the arm talent to push all over the field, something that Jimmy Garoppolo, quite frankly, was not doing.
The Nets play the 76ers tonight. That's the opener of an ESPN doubleheader at 7 Eastern. The game also on ESPN Radio. The Nets will be without Kevin Durant, James Harden, Blake Griffin, and LaMarcus Aldridge. Kyrie Irving will play. In the nightcap on ESPN, Mavericks and Grizzlies in Memphis. Louisville guard David Johnson will enter the NBA draft. He averaged 13 points, 6 boards, and 3 assists for the Cardinals in his sophomore season.
The next generation of paint protection is here. New 303 graphene nanospray coating will provide up to 12 months of professional level protection, insane water beating, and jaw-dropping shine with one simple application. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special, too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies. Anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? because I want to go to a concert with my friends in a full arena.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Slip and falls can be embarrassing, leaving you in pain and feeling like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anna Levine. After a fall, document the scene by taking photographs. Make sure to get medical attention for any injuries you may have. If you've been injured in a slip and fall, call the law offices of Anna Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Have you ever heard of Alex Rodriguez? Some people haven't. Hey, Steven, do you have that sound? We'll play in a moment. But Anthony Edwards, it was Anthony Edwards, right? Yeah. The rookie out of Georgia.
Yes.
He's having a very nice season.
Yes.
He said this
when we haven't gotten to chat with you since the news this weekend that Alex Rodriguez was getting ready to buy in as an owner here. Do you have any thoughts about him? Are you an A-Rod fan at all growing up or anything like that? What you think about what he might bring to the team?
Fan? Who is he?
The baseball player, Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I know he's going to be the owner, but I don't know nothing about baseball.
He's 19 years old. Is it that shocking to people?
Yes, it is.
I mean, to me, I'm more shocked because, like, he was married to Jay. Are they still married? They hatched that out?
I thought they split up.
I don't know.
I thought they temporarily split up.
I don't know. What else is new? But I'm surprised he didn't know just because of that. But no, it's not like he grew up like I did with Ken Griffey Jr. in the Seattle Mariners. It's not like he lived for when A-Rod goes to Texas in that monumental deal. 87.
Okay, well, so
Anthony Edwards was born in 2001.
Yeah, he signed that mega deal like in 2004 or 5. I mean, he won a World Series at 2009. When you're an 8-9-year-old kid, you don't know who Alex Rodriguez is?
I don't know, man.
He's still playing at 11, 12. No, obviously he didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't.
That's a guarantee.
Listen, this is a guy that I have to be very careful. Like, you name a musician, you name a movie, you name The Office, you name whatever. I mean, I don't know anything. And people will be like, how do you not know that?
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yep.
But I've had one of these moments before. I was down in TV. Gosh,
you actually had it yesterday. We couldn't identify The Office.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I had this moment with, like, young, and I was like, man, am I getting that old or am I just that big a baseball fan? And this was probably 8 to 10 years ago. So I'm like 35 years old, okay?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm getting older now. Like, I can't see as well now. And so I'm getting into the older category.
Yep.
But 35 years old, you're not old.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And so we got a studio technician who works down TV, and we're doing a show. And I said, hey, Ryan Sandberg's going to be aired tomorrow at the Jacksonville Suns.
Yeah.
And the kid was like, who? I was like, you've never heard of Ryan Sandberg? Like, I couldn't get over it. Like, my mom was like, how did you not know who Ryan Sandberg is?
Dude, I don't think I've shared this before, but like that moment for me, it was the spring when I was getting ready to head out for the Chicago Bears, getting ready to get cut, but it was during spring workouts, and I had control of the giant locker room speaker. Like, every once in a while, like, sometimes defensive linemen, sometimes wide receivers, like, we always kind of rotated who controlled the speaker. Well, it was, like, outside linebackers controlled it this day, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'll play whatever, because I was kind of the music guy. So I put in this album by Outkast, and the song's called The Art of Storytelling, Part 1, comes on. Now, this is a song from, like, my it'd probably be from 98, 99. So I was in like middle school when this song was hot. So I'm playing the song, and I think it was, if I can remember right, it was either Kevin White or I think it was Kyler Fuller, who was a starting corner from Virginia Tech, was he? Yeah, Virginia Tech. And he comes over to me, he's like, hey man, like this is fresh. Who is this? I'm like, it's Outkast. Like, oh, he's like, Outkast released a new album? I'm like, nah, man. This is from like 20 years ago that I'm playing right now. You've never heard this song? Like, you never heard of this Outkast track? He's like, I sure have it. I'm like, dude, I'm old. Like, I turned to one of my teammates. I'm like, dude, I'm so old. Like, I'm so like, I don't belong here anymore.
Sometimes 6 or 7 years can feel old. Like that different.
And this is me going on 5 years in the NFL, and like, there's that much of a discrepancy. I can't imagine being like a guy like Tom Brady or somebody. Like, it's like,
gosh, you got to try. When you're in Tom Brady's realm, you got to try to stay young.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's really what you got to try to do. But listen, this happened. Again, I'm super guilty of this with music, and I'm super guilty of it with like actors and movies and the rest. So I'm like the worst.
Sure.
And everybody says like, "Are you serious, Brent?" Like serious. Like you said it yesterday about The Office. Serious. Like that's me. So I'm kind of. But it's hard. Like Alex Rodriguez. I mean, I'm not even a big Alex Rodriguez fan, but like. I mean, Alex Rodriguez on the back pages of stuff.
Yeah,
like he's with Jennifer Lopez. Like, you don't even have to know him from baseball.
See, like, to me, it would, because it's like, okay, I get it. He's a baseball player, but he's still a professional athlete. Like, he's still kind of in that genre of athletics. So it'd be like you saying, Bob Costas, who's that? Or like somebody like that. You know, it'd be like somebody who was like, well, dude, everyone's heard of him. Come on. If you're a big news guy or not, like, you know who Bob Costas is.
He's in movies and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, Pink Eye. You know? Come on. It's so sad.
I wonder who you...
all that Bob Costas has done, and seriously, I hear the name Bob Costas, and when I refer to him as the Pink Eye guy. Yeah, so sad.
Should be Cars, right?
Should be Cars.
We had that.
We forgot to do that.
We didn't do that.
Oh,
we got to bring that out.
We got to bring it up. Yep.
We just had a moment there that
no one knows what we're talking
about. We'll tell you about it later.
Yeah.
Okay?
You had to be there.
But I wonder who, like, what other... I'm sure this happens.
Yeah.
What I'm amazed at, what this reminds me of sometimes, is just how locked in people are. See, I say that about people in an NFL building. I've covered NFL for so long, and whether I've talked to coaches or players or whatever, and I'll be like, hey, yeah, did you know? And they're like, no. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you didn't see that on Twitter. You didn't see that on the news. You didn't hear that on radio. You didn't read the paper. You didn't see that? Like, how do you not see that? And over the years, I've grown accustomed to be like, they live in such a bubble, in such a world, that sometimes they really don't see stuff, like some stuff that you'd think they would automatically see. And this reminded me of that. Like, I know he's 19, I know he's 20, whatever it is, but Alex Rodriguez, we are not talking about, like, even Cal Ripken, who was 20 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, Alex Rodriguez just retired, like, in the last decade.
I think I've shared this story. Did I share?
Do you think he would have known who Jennifer Lopez was?
How can you not? Come on, Brent. Come on,
like,
now.
So that's my point.
I know, man. I know. We got a little time or not?
Of course we have time.
I told the Trevor Harris
for
story.
3 hours, and we can only talk so much Trevor Lawrence.
Well, I've told the Trevor Harris story before, have I or not?
I don't believe so.
You know who Trevor Harris is? He was an undrafted free agent my rookie year. I forgot where we went to school, but he's a quarterback.
He was here?
He was here. Undrafted free agent.
Oof. I don't remember him.
I ended up going to Canada. I mean, he played in the preseason, obviously.
Yeah.
He was like the third-string quarterback.
Trevor Harris.
All right. Okay. So...
Did he wear number 3, do you remember?
He might have.
Vaguely remember like that.
Now
that it's starting to come back to me here.
I kind of look it up a little bit now just to make sure, because like that would be crazy if you just called out his number. I mean, I got to know right now, Brent. I mean, with all due respect.
Are they even going to have a number for Trevor Harris?
I think they do. 7 right here. Here's the missed it by that much, man.
By that much.
Okay.
By the way, you know, there are not a lot of number 7s in I figured 7 would be a popular number. I was thinking about this the other day.
Sure.
Totally off on a tangent. Now we'll get to your story.
No, you're good.
But who's number 7?
Mike Vick.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean now. Oh,
Chad Henne.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is Chad Henne, was he that in Kansas City? He might not even have been 7.
I don't know.
Wouldn't you think 7 would be a popular? It used to be when I was a kid, kind of like, I think Steve DeBerg might have been like 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were several, and like you said, Mike
Mickey
Vick.
Mantle, number 7, right?
I think so. Yes.
The only reason I got that right is because, hey, the fact that I'm calling Mickey. But hey, do you know why though? It's because of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Because George wanted to name his son 7 after Mickey Mantle. I got it, Brent. Don't worry about it. Seinfeld saves the day again. Yeah.
But you would think because of the Mike Vick
Yeah.
alone, more people would have 7.
Yeah.
I just don't see number 7. I might be missing. I'm not a huge jersey guy, number guy, but I just feel like I think of numbers sometimes. I'm like, I don't see number 7 as a quarterback. And I feel like I saw that a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
A lot. But okay, go on with your
All
Harris
right,
story.
So to set the scene about Trevor Harris real quick, this isn't the story, but I got to set the scene who this dude was. All right, so our very first rookie mini camp, we had to do shuttle drills, right? And Trevor Harris was that kind of guy who would try to encourage everybody, but then mess up the shuttle drill, right? Where he looks the opposite direction when he touches the line. So we had to redo them all again. Trevor's like, come on, guys, we got to get these in. And everyone's like, okay, dude, we'll get it. And then, come on, guys, let's go. And then all of a sudden, we have to do it over again because Trevor Harris looked wrong. Okay, so that's who we're dealing with now.
That's
fantastic.
That's why
guy.
we remember Trevor Harris.
No, fantastic guy. But that's when I hear Trevor Harris, that's what I think of more than anything. But I'll never forget this story, and I'm not making up. This actually happened. So we're in the lunchroom. Okay, and usually Trevor would sit with the rookies, so we all kind of had our own little clique, right? Well, for whatever reason, the tables were full, and Trevor had to sit in a different area, kind of right behind us. Mr. Weaver, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, comes up, and we see him obviously. So I was all right. Let's get our headphones off. Let's take our hats off. Let's look a little more presentable because this guy's writing the paychecks, Brett.
Yeah,
all right.
True.
So okay, fun and games is over. He sits next to Trevor. Sits across from Trevor. And Trevor, oblivious to who's sitting in front of him, Trevor goes, "Oh, how you doing, sir?" Because Trevor's this wholesome kind of guy, right? And Mr. Weaver goes, "I'm doing great. How you doing?" And Trevor's like, "I'm doing good. I'm getting acclimated and all this stuff." And he goes, "So what brings you here? Are you a Jaguars fan?" And Weaver goes, "Yeah, I own the team, so I kind of am a Jaguars fan, yes." And then
he should have played along a little bit more.
No playing along. And I'll never I can't remember what the coach's name, the quarterback's coach at the time. I can't remember what his name was. But after we get up and leave, the quarterback coach goes up to us like, "Trevor, come here." He goes, Are you beeping kidding me right now? You're embarrassing everybody with that. Not just you. You embarrassed all of us today because you know who Mr. Weaver was. Yeah, dude.
Didn't know.
Said, "Hey, are you a Jaguars fan?"
It wasn't Dirk Cutter, right? Cutter was probably the OC.
It might have been, I can't remember.
At the time, but that would have been awesome if Wayne Weaver played along with that a little longer. No, it wouldn't even have been better. But you guys all must have been like, squirming.
I heard that. I prick up a little bit. I'm like, that's going to be a rough one. That's too bad.
Did they tell you that at the rookie symposium? You might want to learn what the owner looks like and your head coach. Know those two guys especially.
I mean, Del Rio always used to tell us, get to know everybody in the stadium's name, because you're never going to know. Well, you should probably know the owner's name more than anything and what he looks like. Just saying, Trevor. But he's a solid dude, man. But that story always comes to mind of just 0% awareness.
That's funny you say that because it brings me to the story just about 2 months ago when we were in Urban Meyer's hometown, and his buddies, and we were eating out at the place, and they told us a story when they went to the championship game, the national championship game with Ohio State.
Yep.
And so they were invited to the team dinner area or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting next to somebody.
Yeah.
And the guy, they're just everybody's yapping. And we're like, so what the bleep do you do for the He's like, "I'm the team chaplain."
All right. Yeah. And with that being said,
all righty.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Let one slip.
So anyway, some fun stories along the way. Trevor Harris, by the way, I don't remember much about him. That would have been 2010.
Yeah.
And I was here. He must not have been here long.
I don't think so.
I mean, you had Garrard. Who was backing up Garrard at the time before they drafted Gabbert?
Was it McCown still?
And in 10, maybe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely. There was an 11 when he came in
for sure,
and played. But all right, what was I getting to today? Was there anybody else? That was the whole Alex Rodriguez conversation.
Yeah, the whole A-Rod. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. One more wrap on this though. Yep. Is there anybody do you think of I could see somebody saying that like Mike Trout wise. He's so under the radar.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know, man. To me, if you're a professional athlete, it's almost like common courtesy that other professional athletes who are the top of their sport.
Yeah, the top of the game.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really follow
like you
soccer
could do that
much,
but
I know great soccer players.
You could throw an NHL name out at me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, who's that?
Yeah.
Because I don't know NHL guys left and right.
Yeah, but you know Alexander Ovechkin. Or
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I mean, I know enough hockey
Sure.
players. I'm just saying you could maybe you could sneak one by me.
Sure, I got you.
Like we just don't cover hockey like
No,
that.
we don't.
Like, why am I paying attention to the Rangers roster? I have no reason to. You know?
Yeah.
So I just don't do it.
Sure.
And I don't like hockey that much to do it.
Yep.
So I see how some of it can happen. Just the Alex Rodriguez one got me.
No, that's insane.
Have you been watching Aaron Rodgers, by the way, on Jeopardy?
I've
seen some of the clips
that have come out. I've been watching the clips.
The clip was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he's crushing it.
Yeah, no surprise. It's so weird to see him like dolled up is not the word.
I know,
but he looks like he's going to church.
Yeah, the hairstyle that he's got. I know.
Doesn't he look like
you're absolutely right.
He's hosting Jeopardy, but kind of looks like he's going to church on Sunday.
You aren't wrong because like what we associate Aaron Rodgers with is obviously playing for the Green Bay Packers, but like you see him like in these State Farm commercials where he's a little more laid back, just rocking, like the hair is kind of whatever. Or you see him like at the Milwaukee Bucks game pounding a beer, but now it's like he's on his best behavior and taking it so seriously on Jeopardy. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's been good, although I haven't watched like a bunch of the episodes. I just keep seeing the clips.
It's going to be a lot of pressure though to like not mess up and stumble with the. I mean, I guess what he was saying is he goes like the night before. He actually reads through every single question or every answer, however you want to phrase it.
There's a ton of them.
Yes,
to go through.
Yeah.
And they said they have to go back and redo some of them.
Okay.
On occasion. I think that's what I saw him say earlier.
Sure.
Because they taped it like way back in February.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this is all done. Hey, I'm going to read you something else, okay?
Okay.
Since we got like a minute to go for a break.
It's all good.
This is a great Facebook post today, okay? This is a friend, like a neighbor.
Okay.
And see if you can catch on to this before I reveal what happens.
Okay.
So the mom, this is coming from the mom.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And her kids are in high school.
Yeah.
Senior.
Yep.
Girl.
Yep.
And like a sophomore boy.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
She says, what are you doing? The mom does. I'm at school. Where are you at? Yearbook. Why? Oh, you got plans? Mom, what the bleep are you saying? Don't say that. I'm not understanding you, Mom.
What?
I'm sipping juice in a robe. I'm so incredibly confused, the daughter says. I look too good, the mom says. You have too much time on your hands right now, the daughter says. To be alone, Mom says. What is going on? Are you drunk?
Yeah.
The mom says, my house is clean. Mom, seriously, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
The pool is warm.
Okay. I think I know what's happening.
Daughter
maybe
says,
not.
the fact that I know you are laughing at yourself right now is sad. Do you guys know what it was? You know what it is?
I don't.
Let's leave the door open by Bruno Mars.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, so she had like the mic setting on and like the song was playing.
So the mom's like, girl, it's the Bruno Mars song. Got this from TikTok.
Yeah.
The good daughter says, you're a loser. So she does the same thing to her
just
son,
drive her
right?
Oh, no.
And so she goes back and forth, and he's like sitting in Spanish. Why?
Yeah.
And so she goes through the whole. He's like, I'm so confused. Are you drunk texting me at 12:29 on a Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah.
She says, what's going on with it? So when she says my house is clean, he says, leave the door open by Bruno Mars. He got it.
Did your kids ever
go ahead? I'll just finish it off.
Yeah,
he said,
that's insane.
The mom's like, at least you got it. Her daughter had no idea. He says, I'm not amused at all. I'm frustrated. He said, frustrated with what? You yell at me to pay attention in class, but when I'm trying to decipher lyrics in Spanish class, it's hard to concentrate.
That's a pretty cool mom right there.
Says, is this going to be a Facebook post? She says, it's quite possible.
Absolutely.
He says, hi, Facebook.
Did your kids ever do that challenge on TikTok where they texted they got arrested just to gauge your reaction?
Let's take care of this right now. My kids aren't on TikTok.
Okay, fair enough. Wasn't that a trend, Stephen, on TikTok where saying if you got arrested, what your parents' response be?
I believe so. It was
give your parents a heart attack?
Some of the reactions were horrible.
By the way, Stephen, the fact that I read that and reading that out loud rather than seeing that is hard to do, and you got it, I'm impressed. Like, I could never do what you just did and got that.
I wasn't even paying, I was half paying attention. Then I was like,
but
sounds
you knew
like he's
it was
reading
the
Bruno
lyric.
Mars
Well, see, I didn't know it was Bruno Mars. I knew it was a lyric. I didn't know it was Bruno Mars. That was very impressive, Stephen.
That's a good little trick. Keep that in your back pocket,
I like
parents.
That. I like that,
That's
man.
really a pretty good one.
I like that.
Kind of like it. If I did that to the kids, they would have no idea what I was talking about. Kaylee might, actually.
Your kids don't have TikTok, huh?
No.
Good for you. Good for you, Brent. That's parenting done right.
They can't get TikTok until ESPN 690 gets a TikTok.
You got to earn that. I like that. You got to earn it.
All right, we got Shock Your Ma coming up on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. We're tracking mostly sunny skies today. Highs near 80 at the beaches, mid to upper 80s well inland. Mostly cloudy tonight. An isolated overnight shower possible, but temperatures dip down to the low 60s. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? So that I can go back to church.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create vax904.com. Visit vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
At Movember, we're best known for the mustache. Well, here's the thing. Men's health deserves support year-round, which is why we're more than a month, more than mustaches. All year round, we're doing more. We're delivering more research, more treatments, doing more to help men live happier, healthier, longer lives. But we need your support, because the more we can do, the more fathers, brothers, partners, sons we can protect. Movember, more than a month. Give monthly at Movember.com.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class. Oh, pollen season is still hanging around. I'll take care of my allergies, but who's going to take care of keeping my truck clean? I've been going to Prime Car Wash, full service interior and exterior. And while you wait, spacious lounges, even child-friendly lounges, Starbucks coffee, iPads, Wi-Fi. Before you know it, your car or truck is cleaned. I went to the Beach Boulevard location, and there's one on San Jose as well. Give it a try. You can even get a membership. Let Prime Car Wash take care of your vehicle. Prime Car Wash. Clean inside, clean outside. Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Good Morning at Moe's in St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1. It's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. Made to order food in the drive-thru. Hot, fresh breakfast on the go. Make it a better morning with Moe's Southwest Grill. Start your days with the home wrecker breakfast burrito. St. Augustine location only, served daily at 6 a.m. Moe's is ready to serve you breakfast. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
Daniel says, we went from hot Cheetos to shampoo, raising the intellectual portion of the show.
Austin Lane.
I'm wearing a sleeveless t-shirt. What more do you want from us, man?
I mean, it's Friday.
We never said we're intellectual.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I felt good out there, man. I felt like my wind and legs are getting up under me each and every minute I'm playing. And that's the most, that's really what I wanted out of this time. And we'll see how I feel in the morning. And I'll talk to the coach and the training staff and see where we go from there.
Kevin Durant.
He's kind of going on a rampage lately because he had the whole beef with Michael Rappaport, if I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah.
And then now it's with Stephen A. Smith. Shannon Sharp. I get them confused. You know, they're the moral. I don't want to say anything, but yeah, I get them confused. They're sports influencers. Okay, we'll call them that.
They announced Kevin Durant, by the way. Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge will be out Wednesday night against 76ers. James Harden sidelined too. The NBA is without a bunch of star power playing. I mean, Anthony Davis and LeBron James and now the Murray injury, Klay Thompson already. You know, I mean, it's not long term with a lot of these guys, so they'll be back. But they seem like they're missing a lot of games on every given night.
But it also seems like too, where it's like, you know, if these guys were maybe not even like fully injured, maybe just a little hurt, where it's like, hey, you know what, we're coming off that long season this prior year, so let's go ahead and rest up and get ready for the playoffs. Like that's kind of what it seems like a little bit. I think it's more of just as a precaution as opposed to, all right, we got to win the playoffs. Like, because we've been over this. I think if you make the playoffs, that's the end goal. Like, it doesn't matter if the Lakers are the first seed or it might be like the 6-7 seed. Like, they're still going to go far in the playoffs, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's all about the postseason, no doubt about it. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. Are we ready to shock your mock
Steven,
on
how
a
we
Wednesday?
feeling?
You good to go, Steven? Just push the button.
We're going to find out.
He is
none off to a good start.
Than the Shock Master!
Shock yo mock. We're gonna shock yo mock.
Brutality, don't you think?
Shocking. Gonna shock yo mock. We're gonna shock yo mock.
Shocking upset.
I feel shocked. Shock yo mock. We're gonna shock yo mock.
I am shocked. I am shocked. That's what I mean. I am.
Kuz's wedding song. That's what Twitter said yesterday.
So, somebody recommended that I use this song for my next walkout in my MMA fight. We'll see. Probably
we'll
not.
see.
It's not long enough.
Yeah, it's not that very long. That's going to be you have to run out.
Just sprint.
Although it's about the length of your fight.
It's a good point. Maybe to sprint out there. But yeah, Brent, you know what time it is, man. 4:30 on the dot. We had Daniel Jeremiah today. That was a shock mock pick me up. It's good to see we're still on good terms after I roasted him. He probably didn't even hear about it, but after I roasted him a couple weeks ago, and I'm not just kidding. I didn't roast him. He was a good sport about everything. He was cool. We got him on it. I'm glad that your whole sense of well-being seems to be better now. It seems like you kind of wrote that wrong, and now we're good to go.
We're good to go. So now let's shock people's mock and send somebody crying.
Let's get into it. All right, so Sean Thompson. Now, Sean Thompson off the get-go. It's at Sean Tomp 519. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of Thompsons. There's a lot of Thompsons in little Wisconsin. I knew like 10 of them. You know any Thompsons? Good blue-collar folks.
Yeah, I think I do know some Thompsons.
Well, fun fact, the reason I got the nickname A-Train came from a Thompson. So there you go. So I hold the name Thompson very dear to me.
Very good.
Yeah, they
nicknamed
dubbed me
you.
A-Train.
There you go.
Yeah, so there you go. It's a fun fact to everybody. Pick
The
number
origin.
Yes, and obviously I did a little research on this guy, make sure he checks out, and we're good to go. Seems to be like a Jaguars fan. Now, here's kind of the crazy thing, though. He says he's born in Pittsburgh, he lives in Philly, but he's got Florida dreams. And when I go to his tweets, well, there's not that much there. Truth be told, Brent, and I don't want to alarm anybody, he's got 3 tweets. One of them, two of them are 2 retweets from the Jacksonville Jaguars, account. And the other tweet is literally the Shock Your Mock tweet that he put out.
That's it?
So 3 tweets.
That's it.
So not sure this is some kind of hooligan trying to get an extra T-shirt here where we've done this before and he's got to create an account to get another T-shirt. Possibly.
Ooh.
Let's let's go into the background department a little bit, make sure this guy checks out and everything. Let's reach out to this guy and make sure you know what I'm saying. Double check this dude. Okay? I'm just saying. It's a nice profile picture. I'm just saying double check this guy.
All right.
But with that being said, let's get into it. So he's prefaced this by saying this is the trade edition Shock Your Mock. And I know I feel about trades, especially when we were using the PFN network, which is not powered by AWS and is not powered by Daniel Jeremiah. This is their own website. It's a trash website. I don't support it. They don't pay my bills, so you know how I feel about them. But let's get into it. Pick number 1, Trevor Lawrence. Duh. Okay, congratulations. Maybe you read the article today. Maybe you were inspired. Maybe you want to see that show with him and his brother and his wife. What would the name of that be? Trevor. I'll come back to you on that.
Trevor Town.
I guess Trevor Town, yeah. And then we can do the theme song with that. Anyways, Trevor Lawrence, pick number 1. Pick number 31. And now here's where it gets a little confusing because this dude was in trade mode. He traded away pick number 25 and pick 130 for pick 31 and pick 63 with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if you want to dive deeper in this thing, and this is why you can't trust the PFN network whatsoever, the Kansas City Chiefs moved 7 spots back, and then they also gave up their 63rd pick for pick 130. Who does that, Brent?
Nobody.
Nobody does that.
No.
So this would never happen in a million years. So once again, I'm trying to shock something that you can't even really conceive, that doesn't make much sense, but here I am trying to make the best of a bad situation. So with that being said, he takes Trevon Merrick, by the way, because you know why, Brent? Why?
Because you checked the tape.
Yes, sir. Trevon Merrick, pick number 31. Does he last that long? Possibly, but why would you trade back to take that risk? Yeah, I mean, I get what happened here in the draft. Like, obviously, he fell in this mock draft, so that's what he did. But I think if Trevon Merrick gets there at 25, you got to take him. Don't try to get cute here, okay? This guy's getting too cute right now. You only got 3 tweets. You're getting cute with tweet number 1, okay? So I don't like this whatsoever. But Trevon Merrick, obviously, it is a draft need. So this would be the draft need alert? The draft need alert? It's okay.
He doesn't know about the draft need alert.
There's going to be a button. Not bad response time.
That was pretty good.
Not bad response time. No, hey, keep in mind, we're taking notes here.
I didn't think he had a chance of finding it. When I saw his face,
you're on the struggle bus.
I was like,
Steven, talk to us. In-game Shock Your Mock producer. Let's go.
Justin said, all you need is the opening intro. And that was it.
Well, Justin lied to you, man. Justin lied to you. So let's go to pick number 33 now. So once again, we traded. And once again, there's like another, I don't know, there's trades all over the place, man. I can't make any sense of it.
Here.
This is like trying to make sense of the, I don't know, on a Rubik's Cube, if you will. And I was horrible at those. Pick number 33, Terrace Marshall Jr., wide receiver, LSU. We spoke about him a little bit, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. Intriguing prospect, okay? A guy who 2 years ago was the 3rd string wide receiver. Justin Jefferson gets drafted. Who's the guy like Jamar Chase opted out, and he was dependent to be the guy this year. And guess what? He was the guy. Now, LSU wasn't that good. Quarterback play wasn't Joe Burrow, but Terrace Marshall shows you a lot. Now, I'm not going to lie. There's better options, in my opinion, at pick number 33 if you want more of that dynamic playmaker that maybe Terrace Marshall can grow into, per se. I think there's more polished guys ready to go. But I don't like the fact that his name is Terrace because I think of Terrence.
I know.
Right? You see
It's interesting. You want to put that
double
in.
R, and I want to put that N in there. And I can't put the N in there because it's not his name. And I'm going to mess that up so many times if the Jaguars draft him. So it's going to be a no for me for Terrace Marshall Jr.
Just think how much you'd get Lawrence and Merrick confused. Trevor and Trevon.
Yep. Right. Once again, this guy was trade happy, man. Like a kid in
it's
a
good
candy.
to see different numbers.
Like a kid in a candy store. Like Jaguars Twitter over a toaster. This guy is all over the place right now. He gave up pick 45, 106, and 170 for pick number 37 and Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth, welcome back. It is a draft need alert. It could be a draft need alert. It might not be a draft need alert. There it is. It is a draft need alert, and you know what that means, Brent? It's the Pat Freiermuth fun fact of the day.
Can't wait. We've had a few days of absence.
You know how I operate with this. The guy gives me absolutely nothing. I had to go FBI mode. I had to go John Wick. I had to go Jack Reacher to find some information, but guess what? You're going to appreciate this one. You're going to be on wherever you're going to be at. You're going to be at Clemson. Where are you going to be for the draft?
I'll be at the stadium.
All right, well, you're going to be at the stadium outside of the pool screaming to the heavens saying, Pat Freiermuth, please come here, because you know why, Brent? He's a big Red Sox fan.
He is.
Now, he has 2 retweets in the past week about the Boston Red Sox.
Good for him.
Doesn't tweet about it.
Red Sox are in first place, by the way.
They are. He doesn't tweet about it. He retweets it because he doesn't tweet for his own self, and that's fine, but he's retweeted the Boston Red Sox twice. So a big Red Sox fan you got there in Pat Freiermuth. Brent, you got to like that a lot. Pick number 63, Eric Stokes. Once again, trades, I guess, and you're picking 63. Eric Stokes, cornerback, Georgia. Guy ran like a 4.3. Okay, so he's got speed. He's fast. Raw, though, Brett. Everything that you hear about this guy, draft experts say this guy's very raw. He's still wet behind the ears, as they say.
Can fly.
But he can fly. You know, he's got the potential. He's got good size, too. Once again, 4.3, by the way. Vicious speed.
He's interesting.
He's interesting, but at pick number 63, and it feels so weird saying at pick number 63, but at pick number 63, I feel like you're risking it a little too much right now, because we've addressed the tight end position. We've addressed the safety position, but keep in mind, this mock draft came out after Tyson Alualu the news, right? So we still haven't really addressed interior defensive line quite yet, and we haven't established the edge rush quite yet. Secondary, it could be a question mark, but we can address safety right there. The cornerbacks, I don't feel bad about. We expect C.J. Henderson to take another step forward. Eric Stokes, to me, do I dare say, do we need a luxury pick button? We don't have one. Don't worry about that, Steven. But we might. Get ready for that. I think it's a luxury pick at pick number 63, and I don't like it. Pick number 65, Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle, Michigan. Guy could come in, maybe he could be a starter. Okay? Maybe. But once again, what are we talking about right now, Brent? Luxury picks. Or what do you think? You think he's going to start over?
No, I don't think he has a chance to start.
Yeah.
But at pick 65, it's more of a depth play. I think if they picked an offensive lineman at 65, I could
see. And
it's different than at 25 or 33.
Yeah. And it's a non-sexy position and all that stuff. But once again, we're talking about depth right now, Brent. Where are my defensive tackles? Where are my interior 3-4 defensive tackles? And where are my edge rushers? They're nowhere to be seen. Now let's fast forward a little bit through this malarkey, through this muck of a mock draft that's all over the place. One could say it's off the rails. And the shot clock has ran out. Marvin, no, it's okay, Steven. It's okay. It's okay, man.
We're back tomorrow.
Hey.
Maybe tomorrow.
No, it's okay.
I'll have it ready, I promise.
Maybe unless I shut the whole thing down and be like, no, we're done with Shock Your Mock. Going to end a little early this year. Marvin Wilson, pick number 145. Fair pick. I like this pick. He's got a lot to prove, obviously. He falls in the draft. If he's there, might as well go get him. We're the official station, Marvin Wilson, official station at Florida State, right?
Yeah.
So we can
That'd
get behind
be a heck
that.
of a value at 145.
And it could be a heck of a T-shirt, too, we can make just because, the Florida State brand, right? Brent, we're trying to tailor to our sponsors here. And then pick number 249, Wyatt Hubert. Wyatt Hubert.
Or Hubert.
Wyatt Hubert. No, it's definitely a Hubert because there's no apostrophe there. Wyatt Hubert out of Kansas State. Now, I'm not going to lie. Wyatt Hubert, I think, was a character from The Grapes of Wrath. Remember that old book, that old movie back in the day, like where they have to go to California way? They used to call it the whole dust storm thing. Wyatt Hubert was the main character of that. So I don't know if this guy, once again, with all these trades, with Wyatt Hubert, if you're trying to just crack a joke on us, you're trying to play one. But guess what, man? We're hip to the game. This is not our first rodeo. This is like, I don't know, our 30th rodeo, it seems like, this month in terms of doing Shock Your Mock. We've done a lot of them, man. I'm getting a little drained, but I'm still ready to go. And we're going to get our buttons corrected tomorrow, right, Steven?
100%.
We're just getting started, man. So I don't like the Wyatt Hubert pick just because of the name. So overall, in retrospect, in conclusion, Trevor Lawrence, yeah. Tevin Merrick, yeah. Terrace Marshall Jr., Pat Frymouth, yeah. But overall, man, where we got to lay this to bed is you traded way too much, okay? You might be from this website and you're trying to push this website as much as you can, profootballnetwork.com or whatever it is, not powered by anything, obviously powered by trades. It was too confusing. It was like reading The Grapes of Wrath, actually. It wasn't my favorite book. Didn't even finish it, cheated on it, had Cliff Notes, got an A+ in my book report. Don't worry about it. Shout out to my teacher, Miss Bennell. You passed me. It's just too confusing, man. So with that being said, Brent, go ahead and I'll set him up and knock him
Thompson,
down.
whether this is really your Twitter name or you're just your third tweet ever, your mock has still been shocked.
Yes. And by the way, I'm looking at the comments right now. Big Diesel wants me to give my own ideal mock draft if possible. Here's the thing, though. Y'all can handle it.
Yeah, Big Diesel, go to a workout. Have a good workout.
You guys can handle my mock draft. All right, it'll blow your minds, and you couldn't handle it.
Hey, let's get to the Money Minute right now. From Shock Your Mock to the Money Minute with
What
Mike
a transition. I like
with Talon Wealth Management. He joins us, and good to hear from Mike as the Dow Jones wraps up and continues to do well 2 weeks ahead of the NFL draft. Mike?
Hey, well, that is a shock. Yeah, it's been a little crazy. Had a crazy day in the market. Started off real well on some good bank numbers. Markets ended pretty mixed. So, mostly here the past couple of weeks, we've seen technology doing well. I know last time we spoke, we talked a little bit about it being down, but we expected it to do better, and probably still will. But I don't know if you guys heard, but some big news today. You remember the name Bernie Madoff?
Yes.
Yeah. So they just, I guess he just passed away. So. A little bit of investment news, I guess, there. But overall, the markets look good, I think. With the economy picking up here, there's a few scares, I guess, in Europe with things slowing down. I know some confusion about the J&J vaccine. We'll see how that goes. But things should do pretty well here in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, Mike. We haven't spoken to you in a couple of weeks. Is there anything on the horizon from a federal government or overseas or anything that might disrupt the market that you can see?
Well, so Europe, for example, isn't doing as well as the U.S., and they seem a little bit more apprehensive than the U.S. maybe on, I guess they're calling it the fourth round here of COVID. And those types of shutdowns tend to scare markets just because we need those economies out there working, people out spending money to drive really the world economy. So where we sit right now, the U.S. economy is still the strongest. So it's good for U.S. markets because even money overseas is going to come to U.S. markets because they're stronger. And so you may want to be a little bit careful about some of the overseas investments, international investments. They had done well. I'd say, first quarter of the year, a little bit of a pullback there. But overall, that's pretty hard to forecast, but I would be leery.
Mike Lester with Town Wealth Management. You're always keeping an eye on your money. Well, Mike can certainly help. Complimentary analysis and plan. Call him at 904-515-5000. Visit guardingyournestegg.com. Mike, we appreciate the time. Look forward to checking in with you again. Hopefully the market stays strong.
All right. Thank you.
That's Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management. Check out Guarding Your Nest Egg on the weekends right here on ESPN 690 as well, 9 a.m. on Saturdays. Also, Guarding Your Nest Egg podcast as well. Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management. That is your Money Minute here on ESPN 690. What you got, Brewers playing?
Yep. Up 7-0 right now against the Cubs. Nobody said it had to be close.
Cubs aren't playing well.
No, because of the Cubs.
You can't even beat the Pirates.
I know, that's kind of embarrassing.
Kaylee's a Cubs fan.
I know.
Reds are
Kaylee.
playing well. Father-in-law was in town last week and a half. Reds played well.
Careful.
They lost last night, but
they're start cooling off. Yeah, they're like 20 runs a pop, it seems like. It's insane.
Red Sox have won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I wasn't going to ever watch them.
Well, what's up
and
with
now
them?
they're actually fun to watch offensively.
They're like an ESPN 30 for 30 in the making, it seems like. This team's going to win the whole thing.
They have a fun lineup. You just can't name their pitching staff.
Can't
It's
name
weird.
anybody in that team. Yeah.
ESPN 690 SportsCenter Update.
Happy Wednesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. NFL offseason workouts are scheduled to begin April 19th, but at least 3 teams are going to err on the side of caution during the continuing COVID-19 situation. Neither Denver, Seattle, nor Tampa will have players report to their facilities. No word on if the Jags plan to work out as scheduled yet. Speaking of the Jags, they have signed D-tackle Daniel Ross, who's already spent some time with the team. Baseball superstar Alex Rodriguez is close to buying the Minnesota Timberwolves in the NBA, but the team's rookie star had this to say about A-Rod.
Do you have any thoughts about him? Are you an A-Rod fan at all growing up or anything like that? What you think about what he might bring to the team?
A fan? Who is he?
The baseball player, Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, nah, I don't know what it is.
Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? Because I would like to hug my grandchildren.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Smoothie King is blending goodness to fuel your greatness. They make sure every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses whole fruits and only organic veggies. You'll never find any sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives in the smoothies. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of the blends. Skip the line and place your order online now at smoothieking.com for contactless pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day. There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Watch Tanika Hughes and John Bachman on Action News Jax at 5, 6, and 11.
We make it a point to cover important local news you need to know about.
Perspective is important. It's not just what happened, it's the reason why it happened and how that impacts you.
Plus, it's where you'll find the Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is always changing, and my forecast will help you plan your day and week ahead.
Watch and you'll see why CBS 47 and Fox 30 is local coverage you can count on.
At Movember, we're more than a month. To us, every day of the year is a chance to do more. To see less preventative cancers, less male suicide, help more men live happier, healthier, longer lives. We need your support. Give monthly at Movember.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Some very, very, very smart quarterback tutors and former offensive coordinators who coached at a very high level in the NFL have told me they believe Mac Jones is the best quarterback in this draft. Not just one that needs to be in the mix or that deserves to be in the mix outside of Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, but they believe as though ultimately he's the best quarterback.
That is Louis Riddick. That's hard to believe, given the love for Trevor Lawrence for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I could come with you on is Zach Wilson really as good as everybody's hyping him up to be? Justin Fields has been knocked down a peg. Mac Jones keeps flying up boards, and the more you look at him and the more people talk about him, the more you like him, it seems like. I mean, heck, even Kyle Shanahan likes him.
Yep.
But as much as I love the local story, Mac Jones being better than Trevor Lawrence, that seems unfathomable. Who is saying that?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the person that said Justin Fields could be a third-round pick.
Yes.
Like there were some scouts that said, I mean, I don't know where these people come from. I don't think they would put an attribution to their words.
Yep.
But that's why sources are sources. But I just think that's so unlikely. Mac Jones being the best quarterback in this draft. Of all the guys, Mac Jones, I think, might have a great career. I think there's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine he's the best one of this class. That would surprise me.
Can we go back to the Sports Illustrated article for a second here?
Sure.
And obviously being a former writer for Peter King in Sports Illustrated Monday morning, I feel like, I carry a little cachet. And when I say I mean we, Brent, because it's our show, right? So we carry some cachet here. Now, you've seen the cover, like the cover of Sports Illustrated, him sitting in that chair, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, I have. I saw it.
Yeah, right here. Does that remind you of anything? That picture? Because to me, it reminds me of the Maxwell CD guy sitting in this chair when the speakers are going off. Do you think they try to copy that? And if they did try to copy that, why not go all out with it?
Yeah, they didn't go all out.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's similarities there, Brent.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that's where the explanation, the inspiration came from.
Yeah, even the way he's sitting and everything. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, type in Maxwell CD's speaker guy, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Obviously, if you're not on the road, do that. But
do that later tonight.
Do it later tonight.
It is a resemblance.
But
it's
there's
an
definitely
inspiration.
a resemblance there.
But
so
you throw the football in, you take the lamp out.
Yeah.
It's juxtaposition differently, right? The other way.
Yeah, but then get that hair flow a little more. I wonder.
That's interesting. How did you find that? Did somebody tip you off on that?
No, because I remember as a kid, we used to burn CDs and I remember seeing that guy all the time.
How about that?
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, let's take a break. Football at 5 coming up.
7 on that.
Hell, more so because we're way late.
Yeah,
7-round draft by Dane Brugler. Who does he have the Jags taking? It's a bunch of Ohio State guys.
You better tell me because I couldn't log into that on the subscription.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I saved it as a surprise for you.
I
Find out next.
Let's shock this guy's mock.
690.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
It's Good Morning at Moe's in St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1. It's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. Made to order food in the drive-thru. Hot, fresh breakfast on the go. Make it a better morning with Moe's Southwest Grill. Start your days with the home wrecker breakfast burrito. St. Augustine location only, served daily at 6 a.m. Moe's is ready to serve you breakfast. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
You've been wanting a new ride, right? But you can't find what you're looking for? Well, check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. They have over 400 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from. Worried about your credit? Well, don't be, because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington's got you covered with their 30-day exchange policy. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
April is Financial Literacy Month. Most people can't afford a surprise $500 expense. So the best thing you can do for yourself and your families is to create an emergency fund in a separate bank account. You should try to sock away at least 3 to 6 months of expenses before you start thinking about big purchases or investing. It literally will save your life one day. This is brought to you by 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Get more great financial tips at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Jadeveon Clowney now gets a chance to play on the same defensive line with Myles Garrett. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Clowney will get a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Browns. A lawyer in Pittsburgh has filed a criminal complaint for assault against Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald. In an incident Sunday at an after-hours club in the Pittsburgh area, the alleged victim suffered a concussion, a broken nose, and other injuries. At the moment, the Falcons hold the 4th pick in the draft. What should they do with it? ESPN's Louis Riddick.
Matt Ryan can't play forever. And I think that, a guy like Trey Lance sets them up for the next 8, 9, possibly 10 years if everything goes well. So I'd be more inclined to draft the quarterback.
Louis Riddick on Key J and Z. Baseball finals today. The Brewers shut out the Cubs 7-0. Corbin Burns goes 6 innings for the win and drives in 2. The Nationals shut out the Cardinals 6-0. Ryan Zimmerman with a 2-run homer. Red Sox win their 8th in a row, taking the first of a doubleheader 3-2 against the Twins in Minnesota.
Whether it's offering curbside or next-day delivery for online orders on over 160,000 parts, or getting involved in their local communities, when it comes to serving you, Napa's Motor never quits. That's Napa Know-How.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Your car in need of a cleaning? We've got you covered. We have all the wash and wax products you're looking for, from interior to exterior cleaners. They'll help you freshen up your ride inside and out, while keeping it protected from dirt and grime that can damage your car. And you can get everything you need even faster. Just order online at AutoZone.com and choose free same-day store pickup. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Are you fired up for the draft or what? A little football at 5 here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. 15 days away, man. It feels like it's happening.
We're getting there. It's been a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, it's been a marathon.
It's been a marathon. It's been an ultra. It's been an Ironman.
You are right about that. No doubt about it. Let's get Steven in real quick. He's been hanging around. Let's talk a little running backs. Which name is he going to share with us that we've never heard of? That's always my question, Steve. How deep in the Daniel Jeremiah playbook did he go? What you got for us, Steven?
Very, very funny, guys. Love it. No, I was actually going to ask, what do you guys think we should get? I mean, we have James Robinson. The only thing that he lacks is that second gear of speed, even though he said he was going to work on it this offseason. But what do you see us potentially trying to go after? A traditional three-down back basically used as nothing more than a receiver, or kind of like a jack-of-all-trades that we hit with James Robinson, third down back, Kenneth Gainwell, Kylan Hill, Jamar Jefferson out of Oregon State, or try and get a jack of all trades like Javonte Williams, Michael Carter. I know there's a couple more that I could probably try and name off the top of my head.
Stephen, appreciate the call. I think what you're asking to is interesting here, because we all believe they need some kind of change of pace back, I think, at some point, right?
Yeah.
We've thrown out the Travis Etiennes, the Carters of the world, the Williams of the world up in North Carolina. Those backs have been part of the conversation between 25 and 45. And so do you want to pick a running back there? Or do you go to the well where a lot of teams go to the well at running back, and that's like later in the draft, in the 5th round, in the 6th round, see what you can find? I would think this organization might throw a little bit more toward later in the draft because of what they just did with James Robinson. And look what we just found with James Robinson. Why spend this kind of draft capital, late 1st round, 2nd round guy, when we can find somebody else? Now, that's a little bit wishful thinking. You're not going to get the kind of player James Robinson is each and every year late in the draft or undrafted. Yeah. That's a bit lucky, right? But I would think it might set the trend of where you think you might go. And with all the picks that they have, I think I'd be surprised to see running back go between 25 and 45. I think we're talking more of a 4th, 5th, 6th round play at a 3rd round running back type.
Yeah, to me, it's going to be that third round, fourth round type of pick. Because with James Robinson, it doesn't really matter who you bring in over James Robinson. Like, James Robinson has, in my opinion, cemented himself as the starter because he's that physical, that bruising type of running back. And that's the kind of guy that you want. Like, yeah, it's fun to hit the home runs and get those 80-yard touchdowns. Like, that's a different type of game changer. But when we're talking about a physical team, a team that wants to win in the trenches like I think this team is going to do, James Robinson can do that, where you keep pounding the rock, and all of a sudden it's the third and fourth quarter, and teams are wearing out. This is what makes the Tennessee Titans such a hard opponent to figure out, because they have Derrick Henry. You pound the rock. Oh, all of a sudden they have A.J. Brown. Or they had Corey Davis last year, and all of a sudden they open things up a little bit. That's what Urban Meyer, in my opinion, wants to do. So when we look at that, guys that stick out to me, obviously Gainwell out of Memphis is a good pass catcher. That Felton that we talked about a little bit from UCLA.
Could play running back or receiver.
Correct, who Daniel Jeremiah is a huge fan of. Chuba Hubbard's a guy that I've been singing his praises a long time now, where if he does indeed fall, which I'm not sure if he's gonna, in terms of his speed running that 4.3, whatever he ran, and his ball skills, that's what you want. You want the thunder and lightning combination. James Robinson, obviously thunder. Now you just need your lightning. And when you talk about your lightning combination, you don't need 20 carries a game. All you need is maybe 10 to 12 carries / catches per game, and you got a combination for success.
Chuba Hubbard seems more like more than a 7 to 10 snap guy a game player, though. Is that just based off his resume and because he was such a game breaker and a big name on the collegiate level? Yeah. But he's more of that guy in fit. You know what I mean? I wrestle with that because I'm like, wait, Chuba Hubbard, that was a game we heard all about. I mean, he was fantastic. He's not going to you're not going to take him somewhere late in the or middle of the draft and just play him so many snaps. You're going to make him a key part of your offense. But I think we got to be careful of that, is my point.
No, and I thought to me, it reminds me of J.K. Dobbins. Now, if you want to build your offense around physicality, look no further than the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins out of college was a highly touted prospect, right? A guy that should come in right away and be that workhorse. Well, J.K. Dobbins goes to the Baltimore Ravens in the second round, I think pick number 55, and he sat, basically. He sat behind Mark Ingram. He sat behind Gus Edwards, and every once in a while he'd be the third down back. Now he got a couple of receptions out of that. Last year he had a little bit of a breakout year, but they didn't ever ask J.K. Dobbins to go above and beyond and say, you're a three-down back because we have the depth. The same thing for Chuba Hubbard. And I feel like if you take J.K. Dobbins in the second round and kind of sit him as a third-down guy for a couple years, you can do the exact same thing in the fourth round or fifth round with Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting where they will take. So are we on the same page here? We don't really think they'll go 25, 33, 45 running back, maybe not even 65, but let's live 25, 33, 45. Unlikely unless a player like ETN were to slip or something like that, and you get a whole bunch of value. To me, the only guy
would be ETN. I think
ETN would excite me. I know he doesn't excite everybody else, but ETN would excite me. It's not the Clemson package here, okay? I'm not blinded by that. I think ETN in the second round, again, I don't think they're going here at 25. I told you yesterday, I don't think they're going receiver at 25 either. Yeah. So I'm starting to lose offensive players, even though I initially thought maybe that's the way to go because they can go with so many different positions. I'd be stunned if they went running back at 25.
Yeah.
And even 33, I'm thinking more of a 45 play that would be the highest for me, but that's if somebody were to drop and you see tremendous value, in my opinion. Otherwise, I really feel like, again, give me a pile of money. Where am I going to put it? I'm going to stay in the middle rounds, 4th, 5th, 6th, toward the late rounds. That's where they'll go address running backs.
Yeah, I think ETN's the only guy where if he drops, you could make a move at him in the second round. But with Najee Harris, there's kind of so right now Najee Harris I saw on Vegas odds is the favorite to go first.
Yes, so that makes sense.
Running back, which makes sense.
Some as high as like 18.
Correct. But if he was to even fall too, I don't see the Jaguars pulling the trigger on him. And listen, he might be the next reincarnation of Derrick Henry for all we know. But when you have a guy like James Robinson, it's hard to co-sign and say, let's bring in Najee Harris too.
Well, we know who's going to be the number one pick. Hey, Jags fans, you can win a chance to meet the pick, courtesy of TIAA Bank. Just visit TIAABank.com/meet the pick to register each day through draft night. You got the next couple weeks. No purchase required to enter or win. For eligibility and other details, see the official rules at TIAABank.com/meet the pick. Let's go to the lines right now. We get in South Beach Gary here at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. What's happening, man?
Good afternoon, guys. 3 things, please, and I'll try to be quick. First of all, you're talking about Tebow and Trevor, but I think the big difference was, though, Tebow was a lot more vocal in his faith, and so for that reason he was more polarizing, because people that didn't like Tebow as a quarterback, they were like, "Oh, he's such a great guy. You're attacking him, his faith as Christianity," whereas you couldn't really criticize the guy. People were saying, "Oh, you were attacking Christianity if you criticized him as a football player." So that made him more polarizing, I think. I'm not saying he's more faith than Trevor, but he's more vocal. He was much more vocal about it coming out of college.
Yeah, South Beach. I get what you're saying in the context of what you're saying. Yeah, he became polarizing, yes, through some of that, absolutely. And I think locally became more polarizing because there was such this adoration for Tim Tebow that some people, I would say probably like a younger population, didn't want to fall in love as way as everybody else was. Even though, it's me, I think Tebow should be celebrated for what he did, what he has done, what he continues to do.
Right, and I wouldn't mind Vera Tucker at 18 if you get a little more sand in his pants. I know. Austin, I had to get that phrase.
Shaking my head right now, man. Shaking my head right now.
Hey, listen, nothing like a guy named South Beach Gary talking about a little more sand in the pants.
Shaking my head right now.
I love that. I love that phrase too, Brent. And Austin, what about the thought of maybe the Jags moving down, still staying in the first round? Picking maybe some extra picks. Moving down to 28 or 29. And I know you like Moring, but I don't think he's that much better player than Grant from UCF. What about taking either an edge rusher or a playmaker there in the first round and get Grant in the second round?
Thanks, South Beach Gary. Appreciate it. Somebody asked me this today, too, and while you chew on that for a moment, somebody asked about trading down. I mean, there's not a lot of spots to trade down, by the way, in the first round. You're at 25, so there's a couple. Yeah. And then this person on Twitter asked me trade out of the first round. My take on this is, listen, we've had this accumulation of picks for the last 2 years. You got 23 picks over 2 seasons. You're going to get more picks next year, and your normal allotment, and that's if you don't make any other trades and all that stuff. But you just signed 12 free agents. You have a bunch of money next year to add more free agents. You already have a young football team. I'd rather go get stud players and move up and trade away some of the picks than I would trade back in this instance. And I'm not opposed to trading back. I get the theory in that. I would just rather I'd get way more excited about this draft if they target somebody at 17 and they see them available still and they say, you know what, we're going to go up and get that guy. Yes. I'd feel better about that than trading back and having an extra second-round pick.
No, that's exactly how I feel about it as well. And I understand what South Beach Gary is saying, where it's like, okay, we can go ahead and, we're not going to pick this in one day, are we? It takes some time, and I understand that. But you had draft capital last year. There's only so much draft capital that you can have. There's only so many roster spots to fill. And I agree with you, Brent. If I'm going to make a move, I'm trading up. I'm going to use some of that capital to get the guys that I want, because there's only so many spots. Now, to answer the question of, do you trade back for Richie Grant as opposed to going after Merrick? In my opinion, no, you do not do that. And once again, I echo the point where I don't need any more capital. I need playmakers that can come in and make a difference. And I think with Merrick, I think he's the unequivocally number one safety in this draft class. I think Richie Grant, you can make an argument it's either him or that cat from Oregon. And when we talk about both of those guys, there are a couple pros and cons. The con for Richie Grant, I would say, some scouts want to kind of go after his athleticism a little bit and his ability to handle one-on-one coverage. Merrick on the other side, a little more athletic, can do a lot of different things, and I've watched a lot of film on him. It looks like he's not afraid to take on a tight end, the guy in the slot, and in a 3-4 defense, that's what you need. I'm always reminded of Eric Berry, what he brought to that Kansas City Chiefs the defense in terms of either a free safety or a strong safety, but he was the jack of all trades. And when they played the Patriots, he was covering Gronk, right? When you're playing a team with one receiver, sometimes he would either double team that guy or he'd take a man-to-man. That's the type of safety that you need, and I think out of all these guys, Merrick could possibly be that guy more than anybody else.
Yeah, I think it makes some sense. The one other thing I'll add to this real quick on the trading back, what I have a hard time like just coming on board with is I don't know how they value picks 25 to say 45 or 50. You know, like if there's a ton of depth there and you think you can get a similar type of player at 25 and 28, or you think there's a bunch of good players in that window of opportunity, then add another pick at 36 to go along with 33 and 45, then maybe it makes sense. You know, maybe it makes some sense. So it's a tough thing to answer. I'm just telling you from a principle standpoint, philosophy standpoint, looking at this team the last couple years and going forward, they've had a bunch of picks. Now you got to see if the picks turn out okay. But I'm talking about going to get studs. There's plenty of picks. There's not enough studs. You have a better chance of getting a stud the higher you pick. All right? That's just the way it works. And so if I can get back up in the top 20, I'm willing to give up a couple of picks to go get the guy I covet. In theory, once again, it really changes on how they evaluate their board, which certainly is logical. We just don't know what that board looks like right now. It is time for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Report on another beautiful day here in Northeast Florida. Rick Riles joins us each and every day on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Rick, what's happened? We learned a lot about worms yesterday.
Well, you know, you got to have a good Palua worm hatch every now and then. And we've got one going, and you guys, wow, hadn't been for me, you guys would have slept right through it. I mean, considering the rest for a minute, will you? But talked with David Voorhees, and he said it was a new moon. This oftentimes happens on the new moon in April and should happen again on the full moon. Now, it's not a real boom to fishing. The redfish gets stuffed full of these worms, and it gets them hard. It gets it harder for them to eat. But it seems like this year they've been pretty cooperative in spite of the fact that they can gulp worms just by swimming through the water. There's so many of them in the intercoastal waterway. Red fishing remained good today. Our fishing was very good yesterday and stands to get much better. Now, here's the reason why. We've got a calm weekend coming up. It looks particularly it's going to be beautiful, and we've got a southeast wind. Well, we've had reports of a lot of mahi and a lot of tuna on the other side of the Gulf Stream, the east side, and this southeast wind will actually push those fish across the 60-mile Gulf Stream to where our boats can more easily reach them. So I'll be surprised if this weekend's not real good. Probably going to keep most of the boats home tomorrow because it's going to be pretty sloppy, but then it lays down on Friday, and Saturday and Sunday right now look like bonus time to be offshore. I think it's going to be outstanding. But one thing you can count on, we'll be back tomorrow to check on it with another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing. Thank you, Brent.
Thanks, Rick Riles. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Looks like it's shaping up for a good weekend on the water. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. No better time than the 5 o'clock hour here on a Wednesday to hit the happy hour horn as well.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
It's a celebration!
Go check out VitaDeLuis.com where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis tequila, Reposado and Añejo Blanco. Taste of the islands in every drop, locally owned in Jax Beach. Imported from Tequila, Mexico. VitaDeLuis.com for your Vida de Luis tequila. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will go over this 7-round mock draft. 3 Ohio State players. I think that's a little much, okay? I think we did a question like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It said, where would you put money? The field or Ohio State? Where Urban Meyer will draft a player from Ohio State. Not undrafted free agent, because I think he certainly could sign one of them. But will he draft? That'd be a nice little prop bet in this draft. I think it'd be a great one.
Yep.
Well, Dane Brugler says, how about 3 of them? So we'll check out that mock draft. Austin hasn't seen it yet. You probably haven't seen it yet either. We'll tell you who it is in a 7-round mock draft for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's on the way on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690. Partly sunny skies this afternoon. Warm temperatures in the 80s, near 80 at the coast. Will be dry, though. Mostly cloudy tonight. Overnight lows drop down to the low 60s. Some scattered primarily late afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms arrive, so some dry hours to start the day. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach 80 degrees. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding bands through the 25th.
They just don't make them like they used to.
People say that a lot, and sometimes it's true, but not for air conditioners. Manufacturers actually make them better than they used to. It's just that local AC companies don't install them like they ought to. Old school rules of thumb and yesterday's shortcuts simply sabotage new school systems. Can new technology give you more comfort with longer service life? Only if the AC tech knows how to properly engineer it for your home and how to install it right. So techs that don't understand inverters, low voltage controls, and how to configure the software, dip switches, and refrigerant charge for Florida humidity, they'll totally turn it into turd buckets, especially if they just do a swap the box install without fixing your ductwork and airflow. My point, the better the technology, the more important the install. At Griffith Service, we fix what others can't, but it's best to have us install it right from the beginning. So if your new system ain't working right or your old one needs replacing, call
GriffinService.com.
1250-697.
Hello, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 7, understand attorney's fees. You've probably heard no fee guarantee, or you only pay if you win. This isn't some kind of special offer. Most injury attorneys are paid this way. We get paid this way. There are limits on what percentage attorneys can charge. Our firm charges you nothing, not even costs, unless you get money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special, too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com. There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop. It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY. Need a good-paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Hi, I'm here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Ma'am, why are you getting the vaccine?
I'm getting the vaccine so that I can travel and be safe.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 2 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Austin Lane.
Are we on right now or not? Like our screen? I guess we're good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah, you got to go all the way. Yeah, we're back. Thanks for your concern.
You're welcome.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome back, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Steven in for Coos. Coos is off to the wedding. Steven's with us for the next couple of days. Appreciate that.
Does the signing go down? Is it Friday the signing happens?
I think it becomes official
When's the big
Friday.
signing? Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a signing day.
Signing day. Absolutely.
Kind of is.
It's
The
real
original signing day.
You better believe it, man. It's funny. I was the best man at
Just don't end up in the transfer portal.
No, don't do. You want to know that? You do not want to do that. So when I played for the Bears, I was a best man at one of my friends' weddings, and I had to sign the marriage certificate. And obviously, being in Wisconsin, they're all diehard Packers fans. So I actually signed the marriage certificate. A-Lane 73, go Bears, bear down. I put the hashtag bear down on the marriage license. And you can't change that. Once you sign the marriage license,
that's what it is.
It's good to go. So, needless to say,
you get scolded?
He didn't care. I think the bride left a little more than to be desired, let's just say. Yeah, she wasn't impressed. But what are you going to do, man? Just boys being boys.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, we have a big-time mock draft from Dane Brugler from The Athletic.
We should almost shocked it, but yeah, let's get it.
We could down the road.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, number 1, not shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, by the way, Trey Lance to the Falcons, Jamar Chase to the Bengals, Kyle Pitts to the Dolphins, Penei Sewell to the Lions. Those are the first 7 picks. Justin Fields ends up number 9 to the Broncos. Broncos have been quiet on the quarterback front, surprisingly, don't you think?
A little shocking with Drew Lock, yep.
Yeah. At number 25, we've got some diversity here.
Okay.
In mock drafts.
Hit me with it.
How about Elijah Moore from Ole Miss?
heard the name come up a little bit. That's pretty high, I feel like, for 25.
435 40-yard dash 667 3-cone drill.
That's all he said.
Would that excite you?
The cone drill or Elijah Moore?
Elijah Moore. He says if Lawrence and Moore reach their full potential, Jacksonville will be talking about this first-round haul for a long time.
I mean, I do like the talent coming out of Ole Miss at the wide receiver position. So far, so good for them. But I'll be honest, it doesn't bring home the bacon for me, let's just say.
How about this, then? 33 for Brugler. He says Trevon Merrick getting him at 33.
I mean, if you get him at 33, then so be it. Take whoever you want at 25.
Yeah.
That's a big if, though.
That'd be a nice get, right?
Yes.
There's a run on running backs right after that. Falcons go ETN. Dolphins go Javonte Williams.
What were his thoughts about Merrick?
Didn't in the second round. He didn't do descriptions.
Milked it in. Okay.
45. Pat Freiermuth.
Okay.
Red Sox fan. Freiermuth, fun fact. Red Sox won again today, 8 in a row, by the way. Then we go to what? Pick 65. Josh Myers, Ohio State guard/center. I've seen this guy in our Shock Your Mock
We
stuff.
talked about him.
So an offensive lineman at 65. I don't hate the offensive lineman at 65.
Yeah, but I think he's primarily a center with a little guard experience, if I remember correctly.
But does that potentially put you into the moving on from Brandon Linder at some point? I mean,
he's still got 2 years, doesn't he?
Yeah, my guess is they could get out of the contract if they want.
Hey, where's
if he
the
can play
fire?
guard, AJ can. I don't know if Norwell will be here next year.
Where's the fire on Brandon Linder all of a sudden? He's still a dependable center. Okay.
At 65, I don't mind the offensive lineman. I don't like the offensive lineman at 25 or 33 or even 45.
Sure. Are you take the same kind of energy to the ESPN mock draft that we got to do? Where both our names are going to be on this thing?
Yeah. It won't be an offensive lineman at 25.
Keep that same energy. Oh, I swear, if you take an offensive lineman and his name's not Penn Sewell, I'm walking off the show. It's just telling you right now.
I'm going Trevon Diggs.
I bet you do. Bet you do, Playboy. Bet you do.
All right, let's make sure. Jags have so many picks, I don't want to skip over any of them. 106, round 4 this would be. Pete Werner, linebacker, Ohio State.
Okay.
We've looked into him a little bit. So there you go. Back-to-back Ohio States, okay?
Yeah.
And that's a linebacker.
I feel like this guy just got bored and is like, all right, I don't know. Who's Ohio State guy coming out?
But what's interesting here in this draft, in the 4th round, Kyle Trask is a 4th-round guy here.
Wow.
Interestingly enough. Hunter Long, by the way, 126 to the Titans in Brugler.
Yeah.
Why is that significant? Because Mel Kiper had him at 45. Is there that much discrepancy on Hunter Long?
There's some discrepancy.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's big-time discrepancy. Jacksonville Jaguars at 130 take Bobby Brown, the 3rd. Defensive tackle out of Texas A&M.
Yep.
So a little bit of need right there, right? On the front.
Yeah, you got a need.
At 130.
Sure.
Jaguars in round 5, another Buckeye, Shaun Wade. Now, here's the thing. If you get Shaun Wade in the 5th round, I look at that as tremendous value.
That's what we call value, everybody. Yep.
I mean, just based off last year, I mean, this guy was a top 15 pick projected before last football season started.
Yeah.
Like, I understand he didn't have a good year, but were people that wrong in projecting what he was? And he's dropped this much?
To talk about Austin Land draft status all of a sudden.
145, Shaun Wade at the corner position. That one makes some sense to me, again, if there's value. But that'd be 3 Buckeyes off the board. I mean, we're going a little bit Buckeye heavy here.
I mean, listen, this guy is trying to do his best right now.
I know.
He's trying to draft literally 200 and whatever picks it. Yeah, it's a lot to do.
The positions make sense. I just don't see 3 Buckeyes almost in succession.
I don't think he even noticed that, but yeah.
Jonathan Cooper, edge, 170. Ohio State. That's number 4. I missed this one earlier when I went over this.
We just went back to back to back Ohio State
Buckeyes. 4
Buckeyes.
out of 5 picks be Buckeyes.
Yeah. What's this dude's name?
Brugler's good. He puts a lot of work in.
Okay.
But listen, what he does say something right here. In a draft cycle like this with limited one-on-one interaction, it wouldn't be a surprise if Meyer relies on his Columbus roots. Cooper is the 4th Buckeye draft by the Jaguars in this scenario. So it's not like he lost track.
Yeah, but if that's the philosophy, then take a bunch of Alabama Crimson Tide players because they won the national championship, Brent. You know? Like, if you're going to load up on a team, then load up on Alabama, though.
Interestingly enough, in this round as well, Tamurian Terry goes 176 to the Bucks. Chuba Hubbard to the 49ers at 172.
Oh, he was there.
And Trevon Grimes from Florida, 179 to the Cowboys in this mock draft in round 5. Now we go to round 6. And do the Jaguars have a 6th-round pick anymore? Don't think they do. Then we go to round 7. And the Jaguars have
punter, Ohio State.
Alaric Jackson from Iowa, an offensive tackle.
Okay.
Nobody will say boo about that if they try
Sure.
to pick up an offensive line in the 7th round, but that doesn't usually pay off, I don't think. So there you go. The story there is 4 Buckeyes. They get linebacker, a couple offensive
That's so
linemen.
aggressive.
They get a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
They go Merrick, receiver with Elijah Moore, which is the different pick in there. Freiermuth, tight end. So they address some needs in that scenario. Pretty wild. There's no way they're picking 4 Buckeyes. Like, I hesitate to bet my house because that hasn't worked out well for me.
You've lost 2 houses so
but
far,
maybe
sir.
I'll just bet the fire pit.
Oof. You want to lose that too? I'm going to be honest, and once again, it's never going to happen. But if they were to ask me to go read the like the draft stuff and do like what Scobie did before in Eastern, I mean, I'm not that prestigious, but if they were like I'm reading like the 5th round pick and it's the 4th Ohio State guy in a row, I'm not reading it. I'm be like, and I'm like, seriously, I'm like, nah, and I'm throwing the card and I'm walking off. We're not doing this today, guys. Sorry, Urban. And I throw the card.
You should just not say his college name and go to his high school.
Yeah, say his high school name. No,
out of
no. I'm throwing the card.
Gahanna Lincoln High School.
I'm throwing the card. I'm storming out. I'm going to come back on the mic, say watch ESPN 690, and then I'm walking off.
Thank you for getting the plug
For
in
that
before
plug.
you do
You know
that.
I got to do that plug in.
If the Jags go, obviously QB, if they went wide receiver, safety, tight end, I think in some order in the first 4 picks.
Yeah.
I think people would like that, right? Safety,
Sure.
tight end, and then wide receiver doesn't hurt in the 2nd round. I've had a lot of success doing that. What would you feel left out? You'd feel defensive tackle and edge.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
That would be.
Yep.
That's really the spot. You almost feel like you need a tight end in the top 45 picks.
Well, listen, to me, you either need Freiermuth or Jordan, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to be disappointed if by the end of round 2 the Jags don't have a tight end.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
And I think safety, while in play, if they don't get Merrick, that leaves a guy like Richie Grant, but it doesn't mean they're going to pick one up at 33 or 45. They could just kind of not address the safety until the middle rounds of the draft. I wouldn't be stunned to not see safety pick because somebody else went and got Merrick or something like that. I guess I would be a bit surprised if tight end, safety, edge, defensive tackle, like 3 out of those 4 are not part of the first 4.
They're going to have to be. They absolutely have to be. Because I think Urban
or
Meyer.
not 3 out of the. I would say 2 out of those 4 because you could easily not pick edge or
See,
defensive tackle or safety.
But I'll be surprised if defensive tackle or edge aren't addressed there. Because, I mean, Urban Meyer even said it himself. Like, you got to start with the trenches and work your way back. Now, if you want to see the trenches on the offensive side of the ball, the offensive line, like, you're not nervous about it. And yes, the defensive line, you brought in a lot of new bodies and stuff like that, but still, you could always use depth because you rotate guys in and out. And I think Urban Meyer gets that. And obviously with Joe Cullen, too. I mean, Joe Cullen's going to have his guys that he wants. So I would be very surprised if they don't address the edge or defensive tackle in the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, and again, I will give you the 3 or 4 in 65, 106. That brings those into play. I would then agree with you. I just wonder with the pick 25, 33, 45, you can't address it all. And so if somebody falls in your lap of high value, that's where a receiver or a running back could potentially come into play, even though it might not be an extreme target. Safety, edge, defensive tackle could be more of a target in terms of need, but best player available then comes into play at 33, 45, even 25. And so I could see the Jags landing on a receiver or landing even on an ETN that slipped or somebody that they like in the backfield. I wouldn't be stunned. I think the stunner would be if they don't end up with tight end somewhere in those first 4 picks. I think because there's such a drop-off, it feels like. Unless they're going to make a move back into the 2nd round or they feel like somebody's going to be there at 65 that they still could covet. But you just saw it. You go Mel Kiper, 45. You go Dane Brugler, who just had, I think Hunter Long was at like 126. Oh, man, that's a wide gap. That's a wide gap. That shows you about the tight end position, how people feel about it.
Let me ask you this. What do you think during the draft the Eagles would be asking for Zach Ertz? Like, what round would they be asking for Zach Ertz? Third?
That's a good question, man. I don't have a great feel for that because I would say less. I would say less than a third because they know
fourth?
they wants out. Like, I mean, you lose a lot of bargaining power.
So fourth, maybe?
How about this? Would you do Gardner Minshew for Zach Ertz?
That's not. I mean, yeah, duh. Yes. But I don't think that's going to happen because you already have Jalen Hurts. Like, you don't need, I mean.
Well, I know. Everybody's got a quarterback right now.
Yeah, but you're going to trade a backup quarterback for a starting tight end? And a pretty good
tight end doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, but still a starting tight end. I mean, that's like saying with Orlando Brown, like, what, he doesn't want to play right tackle, but guess what? You didn't get what you want for Orlando Brown, so you're playing right tackle.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just the way it is, dude. Okay, so let's say this scenario. Let's say you lose out on Freiermuth and Jordan. Panic mode now. We're in the third or fourth round. Could it be possible that Urban Meyer and Balky, you know, pull off the miracle and say, all right, we're in the third round. Tight end options are gone. Hunter Long, not sold on him quite yet. Trade for Zach Ertz. Can you see that being a possibility? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you right now, where I sit, Brent. Excluding Kyle Pitts, because once again, that's just fool's gold in my opinion right now. It makes me a little nervous when we're talking about either Brevin Jordan or Pat Freiermuth. Those are two guys out of 32 teams. It makes me a little nervous to say, are we sure they're going to be there when Jacksonville wants to pick them? I'll be honest with you. Like I'm a little nervous about that. Do you think that Zach Ertz in the third round or fourth round could be the failsafe?
I would be surprised if the Jags got to the actual draft day and didn't already make that move. So I think that looks desperate, and I'd be surprised if it's on draft day that they didn't get who they wanted. Now, there is time in between, to your point. There is the first round. Okay, well, you're not probably going to get tight end at 25.
You're not.
But there's that second and third round window on Friday, which then says, okay, we didn't get anybody. Let's reevaluate. So to your point, it's more plausible the way the draft is set up now, where you sleep on it Friday night and you're like, you know what, I just don't feel good about this. I don't feel good about what's left. We got a guy in Zach Ertz. Let's go make a move for him.
Yeah.
You know, let's go do something. So I don't think I'd be surprised. I think if they want Zach Ertz, they'll go make a play for him in the next couple of weeks before the draft.
Interesting.
You know, because I think they want to know what they have in front of them rather than feel the desperate nature of we need to go get somebody. Because most likely that's going to cost you more.
But that's what I'm saying, though, in terms of the fail-safe. Like, you know, there's a fail-safe put in place where if you miss out on Freiermuth and Jordan, because whatever happens in the draft, it's always crazy.
It's an option.
But you don't think there's a fail-safe in place where it's like, okay, we missed out on these guys, time to go to plan B or plan C and have Ertz in the third round. Let's make that pick and make that trade.
I think it's possible. I think that's the dangerous way to go because I believe it will be more costly.
Okay.
If you feel like Ertz is a fail-safe, why not just grab him now?
Well, because to me, he's like the last resort.
Yeah.
Because like you'd rather have Freiermuth or Jordan, but you lose out on him. And now you got, you know, you essentially don't really have a tight end going into this year except the dude from Carolina.
It could happen. I just don't feel like it, and maybe I'm missing the boat. I'll have to go back and look at this, okay? But the feel right now for me is I just don't feel like we see a lot of players moved during the draft. We see picks traded, but I don't feel like we see
once in a while there's players moved.
Probably. I'm probably missing that boat.
I was drafted because a player got moved in the trade.
You were?
Yeah.
What was it?
Quentin Groves, may rest in peace. But Quentin Groves went to Oakland then. And
that was part of that deal?
That was part of the deal.
Oh, son of a gun. I didn't realize that.
There you go.
I wonder how often it does. I just don't feel like players get moved a bunch. Like I feel like every NBA player gets moved on draft night.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like that happens as much in the NFL, but maybe I'm mistaken on that. I don't have a good feel for it. Let's take a break. We'll put a bow on the show. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 when we come back.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Wednesday. I'm Jake Mitchell. NFL offseason workouts are scheduled to begin April 19th, but at least 3 teams are going to err on the side of caution during the continuing COVID-19 situation. Neither Denver, Seattle, nor Tampa will have players report to their facilities. No word on if the Jags plan to work out as scheduled yet. Speaking of the Jags, they have signed D-tackle Daniel Ross, who's already spent some time with the team. Baseball superstar Alex Rodriguez is close to buying the Minnesota Timberwolves in the NBA, but the team's rookie star had this to say about A-Rod.
Do you have any thoughts about him? Are you an A-Rod fan at all growing up or anything like that? What you think about what he might bring to the team?
A fan? Who is he?
The baseball player, Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
here reporting from one of the vaccine locations, and we're asking people today why they decided to get vaccinated. Sir, why are you getting the vaccine?
Why am I getting the vaccine? Because I want to go to a concert with my friends in a full arena.
The COVID vaccine is a safe and proven way to get our lives back to normal. This is why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders to create Vax904.com. Visit Vax904.com or call 357-0892 to get more information.
Find just what you're looking for at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, Arlington has the model you want, with the features you want, at the price you want. And with every new Toyota purchase, you get Arlington's worry-free 30-day exchange policy and a lifetime powertrain warranty with unlimited time and unlimited miles. Shop ArlingtonToyota.com or in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard.
For survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties, Hubbard House provides free, confidential emergency shelter and services. Call our 24-hour hotline at 904-354-3114.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Purchasing home and auto insurance? Do it the Simply way with Simply IOA. Compare quotes and buy a policy, online or over the phone. Search Simply IOA or call 844-TALK-TO-SIMPLY. Simply IOA. Insurance the Simply way.
Ever finally get around to trying something and it's so much better than you expected, where you're mentally kicking yourself for not doing it sooner or wondering where it's been your whole life? That's how Griffin customers feel about their Florida-rated AC. They even tell me,
we're never going back to regular AC.
And it's the same for our Florida-rated water heaters, too. It's so much better, our customers wonder why no one told them about it before. Well, we fix what others can't. Tired of having to run a shower or faucet for 3 minutes before you actually get hot water? We can fix that.
Nice.
Tired of Jacksonville's swampy hard water hurting your appliances and hair? We can fix it.
Naturally.
Tired of a tank water heater going bad every 5 to 8 years or running out of hot water?
Yep.
Griffin can fix that big time.
Oh, yeah. I never knew I could have hot water as soon as I turn on the tap.
And my hair could be so much healthier. And my appliances can last longer.
Well, you can, but only if you call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261, 1250-697.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 9. Head injuries are serious. You can get a brain injury from bad whiplash without even hitting your head. Sometimes symptoms of a traumatic brain injury can be subtle. Watch out for changes in personality or behavior. Your family may notice it first. At Rubenstein Law, we make sure all of your injuries are addressed, especially head injuries. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
I'm going to have to go with D. Smith. He's proven, I think everyone's questioning his side, but that doesn't matter when you play the game that you love and you can play it at that level. So I want to see. I mean, he's probably the number one race for the best receiver coming out of this game. I know the kid from LSU, they talked about him, but D. Smith is my number one pick. I mean, the guy to win the Heisman, now he just got to prove that he can play at the next level and play it well.
I don't know who that is, but to talk about Devontae Smith.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Was that Donald Driver?
I guess so.
Former Packer?
Yeah.
Is he doing some analytic stuff? Analysis work? Or is he just a guest somewhere? Probably somebody said that.
I have no idea, man.
I haven't seen him doing much from an analysis standpoint.
No.
Maybe he is.
Well, he was doing stuff with the Packers. And just kind of
he was doing stuff with the team?
But I don't know.
He's
Cool.
he's legendary up there,
Oh,
right?
dude, his whole story. I mean, the guy used to, growing up, he lived in a U-Haul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
It's funny,
humble beginnings.
I think he's my feel is he's legendary up there, but I think overall, his name, as good as he was, doesn't transcend Green Bay. You know what I mean?
He was a fantastic receiver, but like if you're talking about like a household name, it's not going to correlate to every single
Interestingly
state.
enough, I mean, but he's huge there. I mean,
for sure. I mean,
and every
keep in
team
mind,
has that. But
yeah, and he's a little before fantasy football, I feel like, too. So, yeah.
Brett
I
Martineau,
agree with you.
Austin Lane, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. We're 15 days away from the draft. Jags fans, you can win a chance to meet the pick courtesy of TIAA Bank. Just visit TIAABank.com/meetthepick to register each day through draft night. That's through April 29th, 2021. No purchase required to enter or win. For eligibility and other details, see the official rules at TIAABank.com/meetthepick. It's been a big week here. We got 2 weeks to go until the NFL draft. Of course, we announced earlier this week we are the broadcast partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. That was fun earlier in the week. Those games get going on May 4th, so exciting couple of weeks coming up here on ESPN 690, but also here in the city. We will have unprecedented draft coverage on April 29th, really 24 hours worth. Stuart Weber's going to be up in Cleveland. We'll be at the stadium. We'll have people all over the place. We're going 7 p until 10 p.m. on TV with specials. That's outside of our normal newscasts on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Essentially, we're morning all the way through midnight live on TV for the most part around this draft. And we'll have our show right here, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. down at the stadium as well. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. So really looking forward to a big-time night, one like we've never had in Jacksonville before with the #1 overall pick, a franchise-changing quarterback. We talked about that a lot on the show today. If you missed it, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 podcast. We talked about the Sports Illustrated article right at the top of the show as it pertains to Trevor Lawrence, and it's a big deal, folks. Before we leave today, news just in from the NCAA. They will allow transfers. Let me make sure I have this right. They won't have to sit out the season. Starting next year, major college football and basketball players will be permitted to transfer one time before graduating without being required to sit out a year of competition. The NCAA Division I Council voted Wednesday to change the longstanding rule that has often deterred players in high-profile sports from switching schools. Folks, we have free agency. We have free agency in college basketball and football. It's kind of trended this way with the portal and with COVID and with graduation and be able to move anyway. I mean, the Florida Gator basketball team has rebuilt their entire roster based on transfers. And now it's going to – do you like this overall or no?
One question. Can you trade it with – I mentioned this during the break. In conference. Can you go to a school in conference?
It's a good question, and I still haven't found out the answer to that.
Okay, because, you know, I mean, that could be a competitive advantage, though. Where if you're, because usually the way it was put in place is where you actually lost a year if you go within conference, because that way, you know, you go to a different conference rival or whatever, a division rival, and then you kind of, you know, spill the details and everything, and now it's a competitive advantage. Am I a fan of it? It's just the world that we live in now, Brent. You know, the competitor in me would say, stick it out, right? We would say, come on, man, like, at least we had to set a year out. Like there was a little voice saying, well, do you really want to transfer out here because you have to sit out? Like, you know, because it's kind of an inconvenience. You take the inconvenience away, and now it's going to be the Wild West, in my opinion. It's going to be a free-for-all, which I think is going to happen on the horizon here. But I understand that's the way things are. Students have their best ability to succeed. It is what it is. I'm not against it. I'm not for it either. I guess I'm kind of on the fence, you would say.
Yeah, I can't find the answer about conferences. I think this is – I don't think conference is going to have a say. I think it's going to be across the NCAA. So I think the conference doesn't matter. Okay.
Because I'm saying, though, that could be a giant competitive advantage if you go within the conference.
Well, it's going to really change things. And what does it open the door? Does it open the door for more tampering, if you will?
Yeah.
Does it open the door for – I can tell you this. I know teams – just take the lower levels. Take the A-Sun teams. When you have a really good player, those teams come calling, man. They try to pull you away from that school, especially if you're about to graduate. Mm-hmm. That happens. That's what goes on. Here's the thing. I think it could be the Wild Wild West. I'm all for trying this out. I think there has been way too much power for coaches. I think coaches in these sports offer, promise, and Sometimes they deliver, but sometimes they don't. You're asking 16-year-old kids to make a decision, sometimes 15-year-old kids to make a decision when they're sophomores in high school. Heck, my kids are turning 16 tomorrow. I know they couldn't handle some of the decisions these guys have to make, these kids have to make with all the pressures on them. And they're probably more mature than my kids just because of all the stuff they've been through. But still, that's a hard thing. And then you've got them. And then you got to sit out if you want to go somewhere else, even though we didn't treat you right, even though we promised you something and we didn't deliver. I just always give the Georgia example. And listen, I know it's about winning, but they got 5-star after 5-star after 5-star in Jacob Eason, Jacob Fromm, Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, and they promised each kid he was going to be the Heisman Trophy, the starting quarterback, and a chance to win a national title. And you're going to say, well, because you love the school, you're going to be like, well, afraid of competition. Nah, they promised him something they couldn't deliver, and they promised the next kid because they're trying to get better. That's their job. Well, then give the kid the opportunity to say, listen, that kid beat me out, or you didn't deliver on what you promised me, and I'm going to go somewhere else now. Yeah. And they shouldn't be penalized for that. I like that the student-athlete gets a little bit of power here. I might regret that down the road, but I like that we're trying that. The student-athlete doesn't have a lot of power, especially in big-time Division I sports.
Yeah, it's just the fact of, does it get drunk with power, right? Like, does it become a sideshow?
And,
I have no
what
idea.
spurns out of it, how much feels dirty, right? How much, I'm a little concerned about that. And by the way, do other kids get screwed out of that, right? Yep. My kid's going to X school, feels like he's in a place or she's in a place, and then all of a sudden you got this big stud coming in, doesn't even have to sit out, takes their job, right?
No road is perfect in this thing. It's just, it's the power of the greater good, and is it for the greater good? I think it will be. Hopefully. Maybe I'm just optimistic.
I like it at face value. We got to run. We're way late. Steven, nice job today. We'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47, Fox 30, live, local, loud. Coming up next on ESPN 690.
Boss! Crooks R Us just put out a special bulletin about Safe Touch security.
Special bulletin about Safe Touch? Oh, this is gonna fire up my ulcer, I know it.
Boss, the headline says, Safe Touch Security has announced their new advanced video surveillance system.
Oh, here it comes.
Oof, this is huge. It's a multi-camera interior and exterior professional surveillance system with 24/7 video storage.
Great. Just what we need is Safe Touch up in their game again.
Boss, this is next level. I think Fort Knox would be jealous of this thing.
Deep breaths. They can keep their fancy camera system. It doesn't change the Crooks R Us golden rule one bit. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Nope, doesn't change it, but it sure underlines it.
Just get me a glass of milk, will you?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Free agent defensive lineman Jadeveon Clowney will get a one-year, $10 million contract with the Browns. That, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers wants a restructured or extended contract in Green Bay. Leaving the deal as it is could hurt the team in free agency. ESPN's Keyshawn Johnson isn't worried.
I think he's going to finish his career with the Green Bay Packers. I understand the conversation is they haven't done his contract or gotten any serious negotiations with it. There's a long ways to go, man. They're not getting ready to let this dude walk out the building.
Keyshawn Johnson on Key J and Z. The NCAA Division I Council votes today to allow major college football and basketball players to change schools once without having to sit out a year. That one free transfer could take effect in the fall. 73-year-old Rutgers women's basketball coach C. Vivian Stringer gets a 5-year contract extension. Her deal now runs until 2026. And Sabres captain Jack Eichel will miss the rest of the season with a herniated disc in his neck.
We're back on Thursday. We'll react to the Sixers and the Nets and tell you if Joel Embiid is ready to reclaim his spot as the league's potential MVP. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Thursday morning on ESPN Radio.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny skies this afternoon. Warm temperatures in the 80s, near 80 at the coast. Will be dry, though. Mostly cloudy tonight.